Now, are you sitting comfortably? Then let us begin.
We are the Holocaust.
Welcome to We Are the Holocaust.
Hello everybody, back for We're the Holocaust, back again, episode 27. We would have had an episode 27 last week. In fact, there was an episode 27 last week, but I had to throw it away because Rob wasn't on it and it just seemed wrong. But you're back now. You've been on holiday.
Yes.
Where did you go?
I went to the Lake District, I went camping.
How many lakes did you see?
We camped by Ullswater, but we also went to the one at Keswick as well.
Is that Keswick Lake?
I don't know if it's actually called Keswick Lake, or if Keswick's just the town at the
I
top
know
of it.
nothing about the Lake District,
Yeah.
or the Peak District. I only know about District Nurses
Right?
and the District 9
Is that from Carry On Doctor, or something like that?
and District 13 from that parkour film. But,
District 13 also in Hunger Games as well.
is it?
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm not a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah.
So, good holiday, feel all refreshed?
Yeah, it was good.
It's one way to celebrate a very exciting expo weekend.
I
isn't
did.
it?
I needed a week away and cut off from the internet just to get over it.
Yeah, well, we'll talk more about MGPX later in the show. Right, let's hammer on, because we've got a week and a half's worth of stuff to catch up on.
You have?
Starting with some news from today, because nothing says a week and a half than right up to the minute news. Ubisoft, my
Yes.
favourite game publisher.
Right.
As a big one, they're
Yep.
my favourite. Because they've just got the right attitude, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
They make some missteps with their games, but if you look at Far Cry Blood Dragon,
Mm-hmm.
the fact that they allow that to happen
Yep.
is quite a cool thing. You wouldn't
Yeah.
get EA necessarily doing that. But they've announced today that Zombie U, the Wii U zombie game, that was
Yep.
a launch title, one of the biggest selling games on the Wii U, and bloody fantastic at that, is coming to PC, Xbox One and PS4
Yeah.
in a fortnight.
In a fortnight.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've managed to keep it very quiet.
They have.
Digital only, which
Right.
suggests it'll only be about 20 quid as well, which seems fair for a 3-year-old game
Yep.
being ported over. But anybody who hasn't had a chance to get it, it is, as far as I'm concerned, one of my favourite zombie games
Right.
since Left 4 Dead.
Mhm.
I haven't played another one that's as good. Mostly because they've got, I don't know how much you know about Zombie U,
Not very much.
they have a permadeath
Right.
option. So you start the game as a survivor of a zombie apocalypse in London,
Yep.
and you're in the London Underground,
Okay.
and you'll have a mysterious voice guiding you through like almost a tutorial.
Right.
So eventually, as is the case with many games, you'll die.
Mm-hmm.
And when you die, that's it, that character is dead.
Right.
And you then wake up as another survivor.
Oh, I like that idea.
Now, you've got a backpack,
Okay.
and you might have a key to a door when
Yeah.
you're killed. So to get through that door, you've got to find your old self,
Oh, I like
kill
this a
the
lot.
zombie
Okay.
you, and then loot the backpack.
See, I'd never really paid much attention to Zombie because I don't have a Wii U.
No, and that's
And I probably haven't got any desire to get one because
No.
obviously I only have a certain amount of money to spend, so, Xbox One, as we've talked about. So,
Yeah.
I'd never really paid that
It's-
much attention to it. That sounds like an awesome idea.
it's a really cool idea. And what's even weirder about it is that Zombie U was never even a game, right? They made this very bizarre game set in London that had kind of this almost like not Underworld, Overlord, if you ever saw the Codemasters game, which is like a Dungeon Keeper thing. It was kind of like that, but first person on the streets of London. And then that got cancelled, but they had the city,
the
they
call
called
was
the city.
there, yeah.
And then they created this really cool zombie game. And it had some incredible features, like to loot a backpack,
Yeah.
on most games, you just hit red.
Yeah.
This one,
Push A to search.
you had to go to the tablet screen, and you'd have to move items from one backpack to another,
Right.
but that wouldn't appear on the main screen.
Right.
So while you're looking at your backpack thing, you can't see what else is happening.
Yeah.
So you could suddenly be attacked while in there. There's no pause. So it just gave an element of it's more of a survival thing.
Yeah. There's some intensity to it.
Yeah, it was a really good game, and I really loved it. And now the fact that more people get to play it, I'm interested to see how they do those elements on the console version.
Yeah.
Whether they're going to put a second screen app thing, so you use the Sony's one or Smart Glass or
Yeah.
whatever, or whether they just get rid of it and have it as a straight kind of first-person zombie adventure. Either way, it's a great game, and the fact that it's come out so quickly.
Yeah, that is a pretty rapid turnaround.
I mean, they could almost have announced that at Gamescom next week.
Yep.
And said, it's out now. But instead, they've done the wise thing of actually getting in ahead of all that big news.
So maybe they tease. So they've done this. Maybe they show some of the PlayStation 4 footage at Xbox at Gamescom or PlayStation, whatever. They release something next week to show a bit more, and then the week after it's out.
Absolutely.
That's quite a period as well to come out. Mid-August isn't generally a very busy period in the gaming calendar. So they've almost got a captive audience.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones that just lands and go, we're a new game.
And it doesn't have
new
to be,
game!
Yeah, it's already an established concept.
Yep.
So it's not having to sell anything new. It's a zombie game, so that's fine. I'm very excited to see how they do. The whole of Gamescom is getting me quite excited because I'm pretty confident that Microsoft are going to do a big thing about Crackdown. It was notably absent from E3.
Was there a couple of screenshots teased last week that I see when I came back?
Do you know what? I don't know.
I'm sure I saw some kind of concept art or something. I mean, obviously coming back from a week off is like a whiz through. Have I missed anything particularly major? Mostly trying to catch up on the cricket scores because I missed the end of the second test. I'm glad I did now. But anyway, I digress. So I'm sure I saw somewhere a mention of a concept art or something similar for Crackdown. So,
well, we saw last year they did that trailer with the truck driving at speed towards a skyscraper and blowing it up. But it was I don't remember seeing anything about it E3 at all. And I'm sure a lot of people I'd seen mention like, "Well, why was that there?" But they've been talking about it for ages, and suddenly it's not there. So I think
it was one of those ones that makes the annual list of what didn't we see at E3.
Yeah. So I think if there's anything that's going to be a surefire Gamescom game, now they've got all the big announcements out of the way, now's the time where I can actually go, you know what? Boom, there's Crackdown. Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Release dates for other formats.
Which I'm happy to say we were wrong, in a sense, because we predicted maybe it wouldn't be a very long gap between the two. That Holiday would allow
I think we
Sony
should clarify, it wouldn't be a very long window of exclusivity of the Xbox One.
Yes, that was it. That was because we basically said Holiday is quite a specific time.
Yep.
And anything after January, basically,
all bets are off.
Yeah.
Well, mostly
a whole year.
Yes.
Exclusivity for consoles.
Yep.
And early 2016 for PC, which makes sense with Windows 10.
Certainly does.
Parity at the moment. So yeah, I'm quite pleased in one sense because it does add.
It seems like a proper exclusive again.
Yeah.
Like you used to get back in the oldie days when 360 exclusives were for 12 months, or PS4 or PS3
Tomb Raider
was 12 months.
Legend, I think, was exclusive to 360 until they did the HD collection on PS3. So yeah, I quite like the fact that this is an actual year. And yeah, that's good. It's good. I know there are going to be people listening who've got PS4 who have spitting feathers, but there are games coming to PS4 that we don't get.
Yeah.
And
Uncharted for one.
Yeah. And or even if you look at things like the Call of Duty map packs, were always exclusive on the Xbox. Now they're going to be exclusive or early exclusivity.
It was the same with PS4. Destiny. PlayStation 4 got exclusive, or PlayStation exclusive.
A perk, and there should be a perk to owning one that makes you want to own both. That's the whole point. But yeah, it's always been that, and so it should be. So yeah, it's a nice little cluster of news there. Zombie year and Crackdown maybe.
We're actually starting to show some games news. That might actually be a first.
I know.
It took us to episode 27 to start a gaming podcast.
Well, we're a gaming podcast.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Ant-Man.
Yes.
The lovely gaming podcast review of Marvel's Ant-Man.
Yeah.
In short, we both really liked it.
We both really liked it. For me, it's up there with Winter Soldier in terms of what I call single superhero films.
Yeah. Do you know what? We talked about this when we had our Marvel special, about how this was going to be an uphill struggle.
Yep.
An anthill struggle
Whee!
For them. It has shown at the box office to have been right for us to say that, because it is the second weakest opening, I think, behind The Incredible Hulk.
Probably, but The Incredible Hulk came before the Marvel stuff really took off as well.
Following from the
Ang Lee one.
Admittedly not great Ang Lee.
I like the Ang Lee one.
But it's not, in comparison to the new Marvel, it wasn't a Marvel-y Marvel film.
No, not compared to new ones. It was an Ang Lee film about a Marvel character.
And that's it. It stands apart. So for it to be really at the bottom of the new wave of Marvels doesn't surprise me because it's Ant-Man. At work, we've had people coming in asking what's on. We'll say Ant-Man, and they'll say, "What's that?" And I say, "It's a Marvel superhero." And they went, "What, like Spider-Man?" I went, "Yep, but with the ability to get to the size of an ant." And she went, "Well, that's a stupid power." I was, "God, what's wrong with you? Just having the ability to..."
Right. Off at a slight tangent here.
Yeah.
You mentioned Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Saw some, again, it's either concept art or somebody else. As people know, over the years, superhero outfits, costumes, designs, they change a lot. You look at Batman, different Batman bat suits. Spider-Man, there's been different ones. And this particular piece of concept art had a Spider-Man with kind of a traditional mask, sort of like almost like a ski mask with a goggle type look, but fingerless gloves,
Right.
and basically toeless feet. Okay. One thing which I can't remember if you and I are discussing, or me and my friend Dan, but really bugged us for ages is how does he climb walls with gloves and shoes on? Does his magic grippy fingers go through the gloves?
Well, he had the hairs, didn't he?
In the Tobey Maguire films.
But
so is it implying that,
sure
this
material
very
is quite thin? I mean, he's pulled
but
tight.
Bear in mind, no, if that material's that thin, surely it would have ripped much more often than it did.
It ripped a lot during a fight with the Goblin.
It did a bit, but that was quite a severe fight.
It
surely if it was that thin, his whole hand would have ripped through that the first time he climbed the brick wall. The brickwork's roughness alone would have shredded the palms, but they didn't.
Suggesting, therefore, that the hairs have.
I'm suggesting that a film about a man who can climb walls because he's got the powers of a spider might be scientifically incorrect in a fashion sense. Okay. Back to Ant-Man.
So hang on. So is this concept art for his appearance in Civil War,
it's just an image that appeared. Obviously, people go, "Ooh, I wonder," and whether
it would make sense
to reboot
actually.
The character's look because obviously there's new Spider-Man from the Marvel Studios, Civil War. I think, to be honest with you, it's probably going to be one of those things which is just somebody's alternative take on Spider-Man.
Is this your roundabout way of going? I had a discussion about why Spider-Man's suit is ridiculous and now I've designed a costume.
No, I can't draw like that. No. I had the discussion with someone. I can't remember if it was you drunkenly at MGPX or someone else. I think it was Dan, my friend Dan.
Okay.
But yeah, it bugged us both. And then literally 2-3 days later, this image appears. I'm like, that's a bit spooky. But yes, it reminded me. So yeah, anyway, back to Ant-Man.
Now I'll say the big surprise for me was how happy I was, or how satisfied I was with Hank Pym.
Yes, Michael Douglas was excellent.
Because anyone, I mean, and this is the thing we found when we did the Marvel show, is a lot of people who listen aren't massive Marvel fans, they like the films. So going into Ant-Man, a lot of people have got no idea of the importance of Hank Pym as a character. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I said that annoyed me was, why was it in the Battle of New York? We now know why.
Yeah.
That story was written in such a way that it entirely justified his non-existence, him not being involved in Ultron, him not being there about New York. It just worked perfectly with the most realistic response because it took in everything that the original Ant-Man comics did, all of his story arcs, all of his relationship with Janet, and when that's all happened, we're now at the point where the torch has been passed on. So Michael Douglas had a lot to carry, and fuck me, was the de-aging of Michael Douglas at the beginning one of the best effects I've seen in my days.
They've obviously spoken to the guys who did Tron Legacy, and they de-aged Jeff Bridges.
I watched that again recently. The two are not even the same ballpark now.
Well, the other thing that got me is not just the de-aging of Michael Douglas, but it was the aging of Hayley Atwell as well.
Yes.
Which they've done pretty well twice now, in Winter Soldier and Star Wars. Because she has a brief appearance there.
Yeah, I like that whole thing where they're building the...
Triskelion?
That's it. I always think Tesseract. I get confused. But I like the idea of that also putting it... There's that point in S.H.I.E.L.D.'s history that's important. I love the fact that was a very small scene. Actually, if anything, the first Marvel film to have a pre-film scene, plus a mid-credit scene, plus an end-credit scene. They were like chucking them all in all over the place this time. But I really like that because, it was that justification of all of these characters know who they are. And I liked the rivalry between Pym and Stark. last generation that could potentially filter into any interaction with Avengers going forward. The whole film sits well. I don't want to spoil anything because it's in a trailer, but the mission to get the piece of tech that he'd invented, which has a cameo from another Marvel character, I think was perfectly pitched.
Yeah,
I think
it was
it worked very well. It was funny as it needed to be. The whole film had you could see Edgar Wright had been involved.
Yeah, definitely.
But I don't think him going away made much of a difference overall.
No, and you and I were both concerned about that prior to the film coming out.
Yeah. I think anybody who's seen the trailer knows that Thomas Tank Engine features in the trailer. The fact that they managed to better that moment was a genuine... Actually, twice. They bettered that moment twice with Thomas Tank Engine.
That's what you want, because there's nothing worse than a film shooting its bolt in the trailer.
No.
And showing you the best bit in the trailer. Because then...
The majority of the best bits for Ant-Man were all in the film.
Yeah.
Like because in the trailer you've got the scene where he drops into the bathtub.
Yep.
And the water then splashes him out of the bath. But actually, it's when he goes through the floorboards to the next room. That's when that gets very interesting. I just think that the workings of the ant suit, the idea of controlling the ants for doing a countdown time at one point in the film, I thought was also just brilliant. Everything about it. It was, like you say, it was up there as a standalone, as a kind of introduction to a character film. It's one of the best. Yeah,
as an introduction to a character film, the only one arguably on the par with it is Iron Man.
Yeah.
Because first Captain America, Captain America the First Avenger, I quite enjoyed it. Not a brilliant film though. It's a 6 or 7 out of 10. Same with Thor. Watchable, enjoyable.
Yeah.
But this was a really strong film. It had humour, the story was told well, the performances of the main characters are all very strong, I thought.
This is something else I think that Marvel have learned, is if you look at the very early ones, particularly Iron Man, was the only one really that had a lot of humour in it.
Yeah.
Now, that's a lifeline through the films.
Yeah.
So I think Ant-Man's had that benefit of having that extra bit of time and experience and having the world set a bit, and they now know what the Marvel Universe wants to be.
Yeah.
They can now put Ant-Man directly into that. So I enjoyed it more.
It does help having Paul Rudd in that role as well to do that.
But again, we talked about it. It didn't seem to work on paper. But now I could imagine anybody else in that role.
Yeah.
My favourite moment with him in the entire film was when he's first been introduced to the different types of ants. And he bursts up through the ground. And there's just a quick moment where it wouldn't have probably worked with a straight actor. He carried that well. And also I love the bit where he's working in the ice cream shop. Yeah. He's dealing with a stupid customer.
Because we can all relate to that in our own way.
Certainly can. So yeah, Ant-Man is pretty damn great. And the 2 credit scenes were also worthy.
Yeah.
One far more so than the other. The post-credit scene left me a bit cold because I just felt it could have been more... It should have been Spider-Man. That's what it should have been. That should have been Spider-Man in there, not what they did.
I'm not angry with what they did though.
No.
It made me curious, very curious.
Yeah. It's But I wanted Spider-Man. I was looking forward to seeing Spider-Man in some way. They mentioned him, but it wasn't enough for me. After they mentioned him, I was like, ooh. Even if it had just been him going...
Do you know my favourite bit of Ant-Man might have been whenever Michael Penner's character was telling him how he heard about something?
Yes.
Just because the dubs, so
it was
the lip syncs, they were. And also, I like Michael Penner as an actor.
I was going to say, because I've watched Ant-Man 3 times now, and the first time I watched it, he was my favourite thing about the film.
He's definitely one of the best things.
Which annoyed me a little bit, because in a superhero film, it shouldn't really be the quirky sidekick character who's your highlight. Then when I watched it the second time, I really started to appreciate the Hank Pym characterisation. And then the third time, I just enjoyed it as a
I probably have more concern about Michael Douglas as Hank Pym than I did Paul Rudd. Because Michael Douglas, previously I've kind of associated with the more serious roles, like Basic Instinct type things.
Yeah.
He did other things. Like, did he do Romancing the Stones?
He did, yeah.
But it was always those more serious roles. So, which one with the bunny boiling one?
Fatal Attraction.
Thank you. So those more serious roles.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I vividly, for some reason, remember about him was when him and Catherine Zeta-Jones complained that their neighbours were too noisy. So it was that crotchety old man thing. He was just brilliant in this.
But I think that's
one
the
thing I loved
advantage
actually. Emerson was the one show on, and he also did the press tour
right.
when Ant-Man was premiering,
Okay.
and he went on the one show, and they were sort of talking about it, and listening to him talk about I think they had 3 different sets. So one was the green screen, one was all the live stuff with proper sets, and the other one was the actual the macro filming with the ants.
Yeah.
And listening to him talk about these different sets, this is a guy who's been in the industry so long, and he just spoke with such passion, and there was that sort of love in it. He's just like anybody else, just walk around going, "This is amazing," and just a guy who's been around it so much, been in all these films, just to have that sort of joy in his description of working on this film was really hard.
Because that's the polar opposite of what happened when I watched Ewan McGregor in an interview about Phantom Menace, where he said it was the most boring acting job he's ever had. And it absolutely ruined his love of Star Wars. Now, fair enough, we all feel like that about the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
But you don't want to hear that from an actor who's playing
such a pivotal character.
You want him to think like, "Oh, but you're working on Star Wars, sure, that's cool." It was like for him, it absolutely wasn't.
The problem was it wasn't Ewan McGregor the one who kept getting repeatedly told off for making lightsaber noises during the choreography scenes.
That's the point, because
that was it. He wanted to go in and go, "Vroom,
he
vroom,
wanted to be
and you can't do that anymore."
Yeah.
I want to do it. You can't do it. You go, no.
But that's the thing with Ant-Man. Like Michael Douglas' character doesn't really have any of those scenes, but he's still got the passion for it. Like, you want to hear that. The other thing I don't know he said about it in an interview, but I've read an interview with him where he had no interest in being in
sometime into it,
but his kids love Marvel, so he did it for that reason. And you absolutely nails it. But
he's that sort of actor,
and I think
who will give 100% whatever he's doing.
On him being a serious actor in the past also works, because you need to understand that Hank Pym is not a nice man. And
he was flawed.
Yeah, and this whole film is almost his redemption for things we haven't seen. Now, that doesn't mean we won't ever see it, but...
I prefer it with these things when we don't, because I like that bit where you make it up in your own head.
Yeah, because we've talked before about you don't always need to have an origin story.
No.
So for this...
Because how many times have Batman's parents died now?
Was it you we had this conversation about? Or who was it we had a conversation with about the trailer for Batman vs Superman?
Could have been us, MGPX.
Because somebody we were talking to said it was an origin story because Bruce Wayne's family are in a building. And I said, no, that's absolutely not the case.
No, there's a definite bit. It's getting to the point now where I half think whoever the next Batman is after Affleck, that story is going to be he killed his own parents. It's getting that much now. We've got so many origin stories. We need to freshen this up, guys. He shoots his own parents.
They've revealed that this is Batman 20 years after becoming Batman.
Yep.
And that there is a Robin, and he may have died.
Yep.
And that his parents did die when he was a child. So none of this is relevant. It's just basically his building was
this
destroyed
is
by
canon Batman
He's not even living in Wayne Manor anymore. He's living in the glass house, which is sort of happens way on later on. So no Alfred, no Wayne Manor. Actually say this is a big step forward, which again fits in with that thing. If you don't need an origin.
Yeah. But they're doing it through flashbacks anyway, aren't they? They obviously are from the trailer. And Jeremy Irons has been cast as Alfred.
Yeah, but that's more, from what I take it, it's more just context of...
Yeah, flashbacks to flesh out a story we already know anyway.
Yeah, but the majority of it will be
20 years on,
which is it should be. And that's what I liked about Ant-Man, is that it was an origin of Ant-Man without needing to do the origin of Ant-Man.
Yeah.
It was like, well, pin particles are a thing.
Yeah.
I'll briefly explain them to you, but only enough so we can actually keep the plot moving forward.
I was Ant-Man, now you are.
I loved the footage of him in World War II, just the little propaganda films. I liked that idea. I loved the sacrifice mission, to say, without spoiling anything. I thought that was very small in scale, ironically, but at the same time, it gave the weight to the film that it needed. I love the actress who played the daughter.
Evangeline.
No, the Paul Rudd's daughter.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought that was one of the most believable and likeable children in film I've seen for a long time.
Children are generally terrible actors.
Yeah, and this one, when she's eating her breakfast and says to the stepfather, "Are you going to find my dad?" And he goes, "Yeah, we're looking for him." She goes, "Oh, you don't find him." And stuff like that. It was just played well. It was good, and I really like it. And it's a shame that it's not taking money, but I don't think it matters because it's.
I think it will become a cult. Of all of these, that will be the big cult one. When the current run that the Marvel universe has done, That'll be the cult one. Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And Guardians.
The
others will all be really popular, make loads of money. There'll be the popcorn films you can easily watch, but the real hardcore cult ones, Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, the Guardians.
I just worry as well is, have we been suffering a little bit from Marvel fatigue? And is Ant-Man suffering
Are we
a little
suffering
bit
from
superhero
fatigue?
Well, I think at the moment Marvel's really the only big one on the scene at the moment. DC is stepping in.
They are.
We've got Marvel on Channel 4, we've got Marvel on Netflix, we've got Marvel
remember,
on
you've got Daredevil on Netflix, but you've got Arrow, Flash, Man of Steel was a couple of years ago, Suicide Squad's coming.
That's Dark Knight trilogy as well, haven't we?
Dark Knight trilogy.
I just think, I don't know whether Ant-Man suffered because it's a smaller key character, or whether it is just a sign that post-Ultron, Marvel needs to concentrate more on making good films and stop relying on the fact that a Marvel film will be a Marvel film.
This is a good film, though.
No, it is, I think Ultron
the problem
wasn't a very good film.
That was a good film.
No, it wasn't a good film. It was a very enjoyable superhero film.
That's what I'm...
Whereas Ant-Man...
If we're going to get into an argument over what a good film is, though, we're going to completely change all my IMDb ratings here, because you can't compare one good film
but take
to
the
another
superhero
identically, because everything
out
has
of Ant-Man,
to...
It's a really good heist movie.
Oh, yeah, fantastic.
Right? You take the superhero
That's
element...
part of why I love it.
Take the superhero element out of Ultron, there's nothing there.
Floating City?
Which wouldn't have happened because there's no superhero element. That's the point. Like, Ant-Man stands because... And it's my theory on musicals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a musical can be great without the songs in it.
Yep.
Little Shop of Horrors, Blues Brothers,
Jersey
Rocky
Boys.
Horror Picture Show, Jersey Boys. You take the music out, the story's strong enough. Ant-Man, you take... And that's the point. You look at Iron Man, take the super ability out, which really there isn't much of one there anyway, but for that first one, that's a solid film about a warmonger finding redemption.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Captain America. If you take the superhero element out, you've got a World War II adventure film, which worked on its own ground. But it was the fact that it had to push it to the modern day, that's where it started to kind of go off the track a little bit.
Yeah.
That's
why I like Captain America, because there's absolutely nothing super about Steve Rogers.
No.
But he was the kind of person that you would hope a lot of people aspire to be.
Yeah.
You know, he was that good person who believed in the right things.
Yeah.
And that's why I just like that character.
I think that's why Ant-Man works. Because
he wanted
Scott
to be...
Lang is trying to do the right thing.
Yeah. Because that was part of the whole Scott Lang backstory. Somebody trying to do the morally right thing.
Yeah.
In a morally
they talk about it in the film as well. They cover it in a nice enough way. And actually in a way that
especially
works.
in the context of the modern world that we actually live in.
Everybody can get behind that motive. So, yeah, in short, everybody, go and see Ant-Man before it leaves theatres. Yeah. Or before it shrinks down to a size where you can't really see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, Amiibo cards.
Yes.
Let's talk about these.
Yeah, we've talked about something good. Let's talk about something that's making us both bang our heads on tables.
No. See, you've misunderstood my oh God, no.
Yeah. Is this where you're going to spend all your money?
Yes.
This is where I'm going to go. This is stupid.
Amiibo figures I've managed to avoid because I don't really like Nintendo characters enough. I love Nintendo as a company.
Yep. Oh, yes.
Not a massive fan of Nintendo's characters.
Right.
Like, I could not give less of a shit about half of it.
Yep.
I look at some of the Amiibos, I have no idea who they even are. And I think I've bought more Nintendo consoles than most people I know, and yet even I don't know these weird, obscure franchises.
Yep.
However, I love Animal Crossing.
You do?
With a bloody passion, and the Amiibo cards that are launching are purely Animal Crossing related. So basically, you're getting a set of cards that you can put on your 3DS or your Wii U, or, in the future, as you'll see from that picture there, a near-field communicator reader for the original 3DS.
Right.
And so if you haven't got the new fancy one, you can still use Amiibos and the cards in the future. And basically, these will just give you an item in the game.
Okay.
And give you customization options, but also be cards you can collect. Now, I like trading card things. We know this from Star Wars. I've stuck with that.
These are at least physical cards.
Absolutely. They're physical cards with a digital benefit. And I like that. The reason I don't like the Amiibos, mostly, is I don't want those figures on my shelf. Right? There's a couple there I'd probably buy, but I'd buy them as figures, not as Amiibo.
Yeah.
Whereas these, I've got the added perk of getting extra stuff for Animal Crossing and having trading cards to collect. And these are quite expensive, but I think it's 3 in a pack.
Yep,
I think they go
£1.55 for 3 cards. Or it's around 300 yen, which is about £1.55.
Yeah. Now this fits in. I don't know if you saw the Minecraft cards I put on Twitter a few weeks ago.
Oh, stand corrected. Sorry, I've just reread further down. Packs in the UK, North America, US will have 6 cards each.
Oh, okay. So they might cost a bit more.
So we haven't had pricing yet.
Well, we'll say £3 as a speculative gift. £3 to £5 because it's eBay, so they could probably just put 5 on it and nobody would buy it anyway.
Yep.
But yeah, so Minecraft bought out these weird, and these are bizarre. So I put this on Twitter because it annoyed me. I went into the McColl shop on Walton Road in town, and I found on the counter. I always look at the stickers and the trading cards because sometimes I like to collect for a kid. Over there at the moment, I've got the Jurassic World sticker book for my youngest to do this weekend. And on there was this foil pack of Minecraft.
Right.
So I picked it up thinking, trading card, Minecraft trading cards. That's going to be huge. I'll get some of them because they're new.
Yep.
And I paid £1. Now, their retail price is $1.50.
Okay.
So I was quite pleased to get them a bit cheaper. When I opened it, it was 3 stickers.
Right.
For £1.50.
Right.
And there's only 12 to collect.
Right. Okay.
So the odds of getting the same one so many times is so much higher.
Strong, yeah.
And I just thought, what? But yeah, with the Amiibo cards, at least you've got a functionality to it. I mean, you were just looking at them there. I mean, they're reasonably attractive looking cards. They've got a weird pattern all over them, but that's part of it. Yeah. I'm thinking they're going to be like when they're foiled and stuff.
Yeah, shimmer. They shimmer in the light.
But they're just, they do what they do, and they have a function in a game, and potentially, like other Amiibo, they could have function in multiple games. So you could get a Mario Amiibo card that you could use in Mario Kart 7, you could use in Mario Creator, you could use it in Animal Crossing. That just adds value. So, like, for example, if you've got an Amiibo figure now, and you have Yoshi's Woolly World, you put your Amiibo on, it will reskin Yoshi with a woolly version of that character.
Right.
So you'll have a Yoshi with a moustache and a pair of
pants
on to do Mario, yeah. And so that one character works across a range of games. So if these cards can do the same, then they just keep their value quite nicely. But I can't afford to get collected them. But
that's the thing. That's where it starts to get crazy.
Luckily, I'm in a job where I can't afford expendable money. However, I'm getting a pay
Have you walked past shops which sell these on many occasions?
Here's the thing. At the moment, I'm living on just over what I need a week to live, right? Thanks to having a small increase in wages, thanks to doing social media. If it gets to the point where by, say, the 2nd of October, which is when these are launching, I've been given any more hours, I'm at a point now where I'm able to live on this amount of money.
Yeah.
So then I'm going to have this money which I don't need, because I know what I need.
Right.
So I could have like 30 quid a week just expendable.
Yeah.
And I could just end up buying these every week.
Yeah, don't do that.
I don't want to do that.
Don't do that.
So it's your responsibility to make sure I don't do that.
You give me the extra money and I'll spend it.
So, yeah. But either way, if you're into Amiibo, that's probably going to be good.
The problem you've got now is the next item on our list is also going to want to command your expendable money.
Alright, go for it. What we got?
We're going to talk about some new pop vinyls. We mentioned the Fallout ones.
Which are on the way to a lot of stores at the moment.
They are, and both you and I were very excited, particularly about the Brotherhood of Steel one.
Yeah, which is the best one.
Hands down.
Yeah.
There's some more which interest both you and I. Bioshock, Monty Python, The Quest of the Holy Grail, and Arkham Knight ones.
See, I've looked at the Arkham Knight ones. The Arkham Knight one itself looks a bit rubbish. But
I'm not massively enamoured with the Arkham Knight ones.
I like the Harley one better than the other Harley ones. The Bioshock ones, every single damn one of those is brilliant.
The Big Daddy one, I would love.
And I like the fact that it's the 6-inch scale as well, so we'll stand taller than Little Sister. But the Monty Python ones, Jesus Christ, I need all of those.
I could buy all of those.
Yeah. And hopefully I can also get a pop vinyl coconut to go with them. Or just a coconut. I don't know. They don't go off, do they really? They go off inside, but the outside stays.
How are you going to transport it home? You're going to carry it by the husk?
No, I'll get a unladen swallow to carry it for me. Keeping on theme there.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is it's an interesting thing with Pop Vinyl because they seem to now have got to the point where they can have any franchise they want.
Yeah.
Like it's just
literally. Yeah.
They are now at the point where they're huge, and I like that about it. That the same company, Funko, has got together. There's I'm sure it's called Evil Core, and they basically do. I've seen on find them on the phone, but they basically do. You've probably seen them. Concept things of characters from film and TV, but with a really weird, stylised look. So they've done like Marty McFly and Doc Everett Brown, and they've done Vic and Bob characters.
Yeah.
So it's all like very British things, but they've now actually been approached by Funko, who've used their vinyl sugar range to actually make them make it able to action.
You're trying to find them while you talk?
I'm trying to find them while I talk. I can't even remember what this thing was called now. But, in short, I can't find it at all. They're great, and they're coming out this year as well. So, yeah, that's... I just like the fact they're making enough money to just take risks on things that they didn't need to, you know. But, I know I can find it. I'll just do this. I'll just type in actually what the product's called. Because that would bring it up immediately, wouldn't it?
Theoretically, yes.
It didn't. So I'll just put... No, not Vinyl Pop. That's not going to work out. What did I even say they were called?
I don't know. You sort of kept coughing and spluttering. I just assumed you'd finally cracked.
Sugar Vinyl. I'm sure that's what they were called. I'm just imagining things now, all off the top of my head, aren't I? Problem is, there's a rapper called the Vinyl Sugar, which is skewing. Here we go. Vinyl Sugar, Back to the Future model. Here we go. So these are. There they go. You've got
Sugar vinyl figures.
So you've got Seinfeld characters. You've got
Walking Dead
characters,
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Oh, I have seen these. Sorry, I take it back.
Well, originally they were just a concept.
Yep.
But then the Pop Vinyl Company said, "Would you like to do them?" The Dwarves have also the same people.
Yep.
But yeah, and they are absolutely goofy and ridiculous. But the Ghostbusters ones are phenomenal. And they're going to do Big Lebowski. There's potential for them to do the Father Ted characters, Hot Fuzz characters. So yeah, I have to wholeheartedly get behind everything they do, and I want to buy them because then I want them to... There you go, there's the Shaun of the Dead ones. Look,
oh yeah.
Which are really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, look those up. They're Vinyl Sugar.
Big Lebowski there.
Yeah. I think Vinyl Sugar is almost like their kind of independent label. So they'll help people get stuff published. But yeah, they are pretty wicked looking figures moving forward. So yeah, if my house isn't full of vinyl within the next 10 years, I'll have more vinyl than Nick Hornby's character from High Fidelity.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name.
John Cusack.
One of John Cusack played.
I can't remember the character.
I was trying to be clever and mention the book and then couldn't remember his name.
Moving on.
Let's talk about the Terminator.
No,
not the film.
No.
Because neither of us actually got around to seeing it.
No.
But I don't think that's too bad. They can pick it up as soon as we can.
We will.
But Arnold Schwarzenegger has been scanned in as a playable character in a new video game.
Yes.
Pre-order bonus,
Yes.
T800.
It's not Robocop versus Terminator, disappointingly. I was hoping it'd be a
Do you know,
remake.
wouldn't it be brilliant if another character was Robocop and then
Oh.
you could have a wrestling match? Oh, give it a clear away.
Yeah.
Between Robocop and the WWE 2K16
Yeah.
has the Terminator as a pre-order bonus.
Yes.
Fucking ridiculous. He's made of metal.
So was Lex Luger's arm.
That's true. So is Mankind after a match. If you go around, the drawing pins are probably still stuck in him.
Probably are. He can't go through airport security anymore.
I like the fact that in here they've said that he's got 2 appearances as well. He's got the 1984 appearance and the 1991 appearance. Like, surely the only difference there is slightly different clothes. Because it's still Arnold Schwarzenegger. And it
depends at what state in the film, though.
Oh, so he
Because you could have the half metal face. Or the metal
imagine
arm.
if during the match, if you got hit with a chair, it just took away the skin.
That would be pretty special.
That would be fucking amazing. Because they do a bleeding thing in wrestling games, where if you get hit too hard, it can cause a bleed.
Right.
That would be amazing. See, now I kind of want it. Before, I was willing to come on and deride it with great ferocity. But now I'm thinking, that would be amazing if you could just like hold his head against something and it'd come off and it'd just be all... Although also, you could probably just get behind him, just take the memory chip out, reprogram, put it back in, turn him into a ref, and they won't be able to fight anymore.
This was a timely piece of news, given Hulk Hogan got kicked out of WWE for making racial slurs as well.
Well,
Most famous man in wrestling kicked out racial slurs. Oh look, Arnold Schwarzenegger's in the new game.
and let's not look at the time that Vince McMahon did worse. No, let's not do that. I feel a bit sorry for Hulk Hogan. I'll be honest.
Because he's a senile old man.
No, it's not. It's because, and it's not even because he was one of my heroes when I grew up. Because for anybody who grew up at a certain time, Hulk Hogan was awesome.
One of the heroes.
Like, not just from wrestling.
He was a suburban commando.
And Thunder in Paradise was better than Knight Rider on every level, while at the same time being worse than Knight Rider on every level. Three Ninjas on High Noon Mountain, it was, where he did like the theme park one, where he ran a theme park. You know, Mr.
Rocky
Nami,
3.
Rocky 3. You know, he did. He was huge.
Yeah.
He is huge. He's over 6 foot tall. And I've read his autobiography, and he didn't have a very nice life. He worked really, really hard to get where he was. And, people like him took the WWF, and I refuse to call it WWE when referred to it singly. But characters like him took it right up. Through the early 90s, without people like him, then when he left, I mean, yes, his ego is huge, and he gets himself into a lot of aggro by thinking he's better than what he is. But that's what happens when you've got a stadium full of people chanting your name at you and willing to pay £25 a ticket to come and see you wrestle. Like, of course you're going to have a slight ego problem when everywhere you go people are holding up pictures of your face and chanting your name. That kind of comes with the territory of it. It's why radical preachers carry on doing it.
Yeah.
And he's at the point where, through Gorka releasing the sort of sex tape that his so-called... What's his name? The Love Sponge. I'm sure his mate was like Bubba the Love Sponge or something. And he basically said, "Oh, you can sleep with my wife if you like." And so Hulk Hogan had a very awkward and not very great sex encounter with his bloke's wife. Well, he recorded it and then leaked it outwards. And so he's suing Gorka, and then all of a sudden this information gets released on the internet, almost as if Gorka are trying to get away from the spotlight themselves. And then WWE preemptively removes him from the website before anything's officially announced. And I just think, you know what, he said he was interviewed in context of he didn't want his daughter getting with a black guy, and he used a racial term that nobody should use, and he's apologised profusely for it. But you know what, when you're being recorded and you're not really sure you're being recorded, and you're having a conversation, you're not sure if he's on air or off air, and you don't know whether he's been drinking at the time, or what stage in his life he's in, because he's somebody who's dealt with depression and everything else. I just think it's another good bit of PR for wrestling in one sense, because they can be seen to be the good guy because they got rid of the big old racist, while at the same time continually perpetuating the theme that women are not as strong as men, and let's just put women in skimpy outfits and rip clothes off each other because it's entertainment. But it's not alright for an old man to have an opinion that's a private view, so we can't just say, look, his views do not reflect our views. This was not Hulk Hogan during a wrestling match. Like Virgil, who he used to wrestle with, he's spoken up in Hulk's defence and said that they've never had a problem working together, and he considers him a brother. And Hulk Hogan called everybody brothers, you know? That's what black people
Only
do.
after he got Zoolander.
But yeah, I think it's unfortunate. People say stupid things. And it's not like he's going to be out of money. It's not going to hurt him too badly. It's just the fact that his name's being dragged through.
Didn't he lose loads of money? He got divorced and his son nearly went to jail.
Yeah, but his daughter's done all those reality shows, and he did reality shows, and he'll always have a career.
Oh yeah.
However he'll do it. But it's just, like I say, I don't like it when people drag for it. It's not... The thing is, I look at things like this, and then you compare it to something like Max Clifford.
Right.
Where you've got inappropriate relationships with young people.
Okay.
Just a genuinely odious personality. And yet both sort of tarred with the same brush. Like, oh, look at the horrible person. Like, well, there's horrible people, then there's horrible people. You've got people who, like older people in general, generally are inherently racist a little bit. It's not their fault. It's a generational thing. It's like, I know that Linux users are clearly fucking idiots. But yet, 10 years ago, they were the coolest people on the planet. But now they're not. And, you know, if you've got a guy who's over 60 who grew up at a time where racial strain. I mean, he grew up during a time that the riots were happening. That Martin Luther King was making statements that it's not okay for white people to oppress black people. If you grow up with that, it's hard to just shake that off automatically because your family would have believed that at the time. And I'm not saying it's right by any means. I hate racism in all its forms. But when I got married to my ex-wife and my nan was singing racist songs to my children, it wasn't because she's a racist. It was because they were songs that she was sang to when she was a child. I think if it was like a 20-year-old bloke in the street, I mean, if it was a police officer beating a black person to death in the street, or maybe shooting them repeatedly, then maybe that'd be the thing. But in America, in America, you don't get fired for that or arrested for that. You get kind of let go because you have maybe some troubles, or he wasn't himself that day. Yet you're a man and you say, well, I wouldn't want my daughter to date a black guy, and suddenly it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa! Sorry, we can beat black women with sticks when they're unarmed, we can shoot black males, but no way can we have a wrestler suggest that his daughter not get with a black guy. This is outrageous, and we all need to react badly to it.
I don't think they're actually allowed to beat people with sticks.
No, but what I'm saying is
Let's not pretend there wasn't outrage at that, because there was.
But I also think you will find a lot of people in the establishment who felt that was all right.
Which establishment?
Within, the authority. The authority is intrinsically racist in a lot of states. Because they hire people with views and go, here's a gun, off you go. And America's a terrible place in places. It is. Don't look at me like that. They have a shooting at a cinema, and the first reaction is, cinemas need better security. That is not the answer to stopping shootings in cinemas. They have a shooting of a black person, black people at a church, and their answer is, maybe we should get rid of that flag up there. It's inciting racism. No, it's not. It's stop giving people guns.
Yep.
Stop giving fucking idiots with racist views guns. And also stop giving them a badge and an authority and a gun. Dickheads, a lot of them. Dickheads. So, yeah, Hulk Hogan is an arsehole for saying it, but it's done. That was a long time ago. There are bigger issues in America right now than an old white wrestler using the N-word.
Over to Dalek.
Yeah, who's going to talk about Five Nights at Freddy's 4.
This is Dalek Sex, and the voice of sex is coming in your ears.
Yeah. Huh. Come on. He's got opinion and posted suggestion, but never reveals his name. Read by someone, taken as a good one, but nobody knows who wrote it. Few lies of the sentence lie, anonymity annoying me all the time. It's like a 2-channel where people just throw their anger, forget about those foul actions.
Today I would have liked to talk about the insane and despicable CEO of Gearbox, Randy Pitchfork. I would have liked to have talked about the incident when he granted one website an exclusive on Borderlands, and when another website subsequently scooped the story, he described it as shoddy journalism. I would have liked to have talked about the ridiculous fantasy world he lives in which journalists not doing as they're told and failing to stick to an embargo which another company has agreed to is simply not their job. I would have liked to talk about the frankly cuckoo narrative that exists in his own head, in which Aliens: Marines was a maligned work of art, and in which he's the victim in all of this. But Bouncy wanted Five Nights at Freddy's, and if the lead singer ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. If you've never played a Five Nights at Freddy's game, the first FNAF is sort of like a nightmare reverse Pac-Man in which the player sits motionless at the centre of the maze and a group of antagonists move their way around the board on different AI scripts, gradually getting closer. Players have to look through security cameras, turning on lights and closing doors strategically by drawing from a limited pool of power. Run out of power before the end of the night, and congratulations on your appointment as Mayor of Brown Trousers on the jump scare. Now there are 3 reasons why FNAF caught the imagination of gamers across the globe. The first and most obvious is that it has an incredibly tightly crafted game mechanic. 2 animatronics stick to their respective sides of the map, and one makes a beeline for your office. A 4th acts as a wild card who will jump scare you out of nowhere and behaves as a timed mechanic which will blindside you if you get too embroiled in the measured management of the more predictable elements. It's not quite procedurally generated gameplay, but it's close enough that every game is different and the thing keeps you coming back time after time. I'm still happy to play the original, even though I'm hacking away at the 4th installment. The second is the way in which the game perfectly captures the dream logic of a nightmare by forcing your inaction. The player has to consistently check the left and right doors of the office, check the cameras to delay Freddy's progress, and keep checking on the Pirate Cove room of the map to make sure that Foxy the Pirate isn't about to hare it down the left corridor for an embarrassing and terrifying insta-kill. The limited power dynamic means that doing this too much will lead to a fail state. The resulting risk-reward element means that almost every time the player fails, it's through their own misjudgment, and this makes every split-second decision an exciting one. The third, and the one which has really set the franchise up with a fan community that will never die, is the metagame of piecing together the plot going on behind the scenes, involving the murder of 4 children at the facility by a staff member, the ghosts of whom are implied to be inhabiting the animatronics and, making them all murdery. FNAF 2 established Scott Cawthorne's chops as more than a one-trick pony and a master of the bait and switch, because it takes every element of the original and turns it on its head, but in a completely opposite way to that which is initially advertised. It sets itself up as a new facility with a bigger map in which every location doubles up with a secret hiding place, unlimited camera power, and more than double the amount of animatronics to vex the player. It also removes closable doors and replaces them with a mascot costume head that the player has to don whenever in life-threatening danger, changing things up but keeping the element of forced inaction, and the timed mechanic is replaced by a music box the player has to keep wound up to avoid instant death. The joke's on the player, though. The cameras are useless, and the game is actually a twitchy nightmare of repeatedly shining the light down the office's 3 points of ingress, while desperately switching the mask in and out, while trying not to let the music box run out of juice. And if the player pays attention to the plot, it also turns out to be a prequel rather than a sequel, and we're introduced to the existence of an establishment called Fredbear's Family Diner, which was running for years before Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. A wider scope for the canon was teased at this point, and the fandom was hooked forever. FNAF 2 also gave us our first glimpse of the murderer, affectionately dubbed Purple Guy by the players. FNAF 3 takes place years in the future, at which point the Fazbear murders have passed into internet folklore, and a group of young entrepreneurs are trying to start up a haunted house called Fazbear's Fright, using real artifacts from the original restaurants. Once again, Scott turns the game on its head by stripping the game down to just one animatronic, a new nightmare called Springtrap, who goes straight for the security office on almost every night and requires constant and intense management to delay his movements. The game also features 3 timed mechanics. Let the video go out, you're blind. Let the audio go out, you have no way to distract the antagonist. Let the air conditioner go out, and you start to trip balls, leading to some hallucinogenic cameos from the ghosts of series past. FNAF 3 also lets the player into more of the horror going on behind the scenes, including the old-style Fazbear costumes, which were spring-loaded and had a habit of mangling their occupants, as well as the final grisly fate of the Purple Guy. FNAF 4 is out this week on Android and Steam, and even by the hallowed standards of the franchise, it's a fucking heart attack. Set in a nightmare state, the game's character designs and jump scares are dialed up to 11, and it features double time mechanics and no cameras or even a map of any kind. And just when you think Scott has given up and gone for the most cynical take on the series he could devise, the plot comes and throws you another curveball. And I'm not going to ruin everything, but every YouTube Let's Player I've seen who's encountered the game's final cinematic has been stopped dead with a look of frozen shock. So there you have a quick story so far on the Friday Night's Freddy's franchise thing. Five Nights at Freddy's 4 is said to be the final chapter, but so was FNAF 3. If we've really seen the last of the smelly old bears, then I'll be eating my own arse. In the meantime, you can follow me at The Voice of Sex on Twitter, or watching me audibly shit my pants to some Five Nights at Freddy's 4 on YouTube at Sex Talks About Apps. Or you could just watch me laughing at shitty Unity asset flips aimed at furries. Your life, man. Your life.
There we go.
It's nice
Sex
to go
Talks
from...
About Apps.
Yeah, well, it's nice to go from me ranting about America and stuff, and then have Dalek talking sense for once about what is a genuinely creepy game. I have it on here right now. If I just show you my screen here, look, Five Nights at Freddy's 4. Yeah. I actually bought a game. There's also 4 out there ready for my marathon that I'm planning. This wasn't supposed to be out yet, and Scott Cawthorne, I think his name is. Cawthorne or Hawthorne? Hawthorne, I think. Basically went, oh, it's done. There you go. Just released it anyway. And, it's the previous ones all set within a workplace. This one, not so much set in a workplace. I don't want to talk about it too much because obviously Dalek will have talked about it. Yeah. So let's talk about Sex Talks About Apps, because we haven't done this for a couple of weeks. And I keep meaning to. Alpha Bear, you may have seen on Twitter. People screenshots a thing with like a square bear with a speech bubble above his head with a weird word in there.
I don't know if I have, actually.
Oh, you need to look. I should be on holiday, haven't you? So when it's as big, basically it's
big for a week and now no one cares. Is that what you're saying?
That is what happens with these apps, though, isn't it? Really?
I guess.
So what happened was it's a match like Boggle, those puzzle word games. So you make a word, you get scores based on your word, and then it removes the things which makes a bear larger. And then when you finish the round, the bear will quote a sentence but use some of the words you've used. So people try and make swear words or funny words.
Right.
On the off chance at the end the bear will go, do you remember that last time we had anal with a giraffe? And the game will do it because you've said that word. Yeah. It's kind of like Cards Against Humanity mixed with a bear. With Boggle. Yeah. And bears. It's a good game, though. It's a really good little game. But, yeah, it just gives massive and gone again. As is the way.
As is the way.
Hatfall. Okay. Have you ever... Oh, you must have been to Zero Punctuation and seen Yahtzee Croshaw. Yes. This is his game. So, you know the little white cartoon character he uses in his animations with a yellow background? Yep. It's him running around underneath to get under a shadow so a hat can fall on his head. Right. And then each hat you get, you can use the currency to buy characters, but the game gets trickier and trickier as you play. Yeah. And it's if you want to find out more, Dalek's YouTube channel. Yeah. Has there been a series of snarky reviews about it? Do you know what? It's almost a perfect game. Yeah. When I heard it was coming... Well, actually, no. When I heard it was a thing, it was the same day I then decided to do Sex Talks About Apps onto the running order, because I remember I'd seen it on his YouTube feed. Yeah. So I watched his video, and I played the game, and then I played the game, and an hour later I was still playing the game, laughing like a twat. Excellent. Because it is as funny as the review. It's hard to make games funny. Games can be funny short term. Yep. That just continues to be funny all the way. I will show you before you go home, because it's a free to play game, so it's just like a flash game. Whatever. It's probably not doesn't run on Flash. Things don't run on Flash these days, really. No, not anymore. So, but it run on something, and it's you just play it. I think it's on mobile and devices as well. So yeah, Hatfall, really good. 100 toilets. Have you played 100 rooms or 100 floors? No. Where you've got a room, then you have to solve a puzzle, and then you go to the next one. I haven't. I'm aware of the concept. Yeah. Well, this one is 100 toilet cubicles. Right. That you have to solve puzzles in each one to go through. And frankly, if you pass them all, you look a bit flushed. Hey. And then obviously Five Nights at Freddy's 4, which was the big surprise release this week. I was quite pleased because my girlfriend's children... I don't really like children playing the Five Nights at Freddy's games. They just seem to get onto it because big YouTubers really liked doing the jump scare. So it happened with Outlast as well. But because this is available on tablets, a lot of kids got hold of it. Right. So it's kind of become a thing that didn't really need to happen. But, I mean, it's a genuinely terrifying game that has sort of found its way into children's hands. So, I can't agree with that, but I can agree with everything else. There we go. That's, you failed, looks sad. That's how it looks. Huh? Showing you Hatfall there. for the purpose of audio. So if you want to find out more about what Sex talks about or what Sex thinks about apps, you can find out when he talks about apps on Sex Talks About Apps. They find him on YouTube via the link on the Holocaust website. Right. What am I talking about next? My running order won't scroll down far enough. Yeah. So you take it up and I'll
really unhelpful.
There we go.
Let's talk about Batman Arkham Knight's date-related content.
Yes. Now, yes, I remember this now. This is in the last show. So in Batman Arkham City, there were elements that were tied to certain days of the year.
Yep.
With Calendar Man, who was imprisoned in Gotham's kind of. I think he was under the courthouse actually.
Okay.
I think it was a holding cell under the courthouse that Two-Face had taken over. And if you went to him on Father's Day, he'd tell you a story about somebody you killed on Father's Day. If you're on Valentine's Day, whatever. But other than that, there weren't much else. But it was a really cool little feature that meant that people, like, if you wanted the achievement, you had to go back every time or change the time on your calendar and so on.
Yeah.
So obviously, people knowing that, what they've been doing is putting in different dates and then going around the city to see if they can find what's changed for that date. Because there's no Calendar Man, so that's not as an obvious place. But they found that if you put it in as Halloween, Man-Bat escapes from GCPD.
Right.
And they have little kind of, there's a couple of little tiny scenes, but it was just a nice touch to say, oh, that's pretty rough, that's pretty ropey. So I like the fact that there are people, because the game's got so much flack, and yet there are all these people who are willing to spend hours and hours and hours just trawling through it on the off chance that, well, what will happen there, or what will happen here, or what's going to happen on Christmas, and it's there, it's in the game, you know, it's testament to a well-made game, just not a very well-ported game, but a well-made game all the same. This time next week, I should have played the Batgirl DLC, which got some terrible reviews.
It certainly has.
But it's only like £5,
right?
Which we mentioned before.
We have several times.
Bit of a concern.
I was
going to wait for the season pass to drop in price and then buy the whole thing, because as part of the season pass, they have announced they're doing the Michael Keaton Batmobile, and skin, so you can actually play Batman Arkham Knight as Michael Keaton's Batman, which almost persuaded me to buy the season pass alone. And then I had a word with myself and thought, what the fuck is wrong with you? £33 to play a game as Michael Keaton's Batman. Get an Amiga for that.
Oh, yeah.
And play the best version of Batman.
Just because you killed your housemate and wouldn't have been talked to now.
Yeah, it is pretty bad, yeah. She's not dead. She's probably under all those boxes.
Yeah, there are a large amount of unopened boxes in your...
Yeah, well, you know what they say.
Kitchen diner. And there's some floorboards over there.
Yes, there are floorboards over there.
And, the evidence is just stacking up, to be honest.
And the fact that...
A car's gone, that's probably in the rear.
When was last... Actually, the last time you saw her was when she walked in while we were recording and closed the curtains.
No, it was the week before I went on holiday.
Oh, was it? That's okay.
But then she also walked in and walked out again.
Okay. It was the last time that she annoyed me to the point where I wanted to kill her. And now she's dead. Oh, now she's on holiday. Now she's in Scandinavia.
Denmark.
Denmark, if that's what...
That sounds like a Dr. Evil plan, if ever there was one. Denmark.
I shall ship her body to Scandinavia, where she will be torn apart by huskies.
Denmark.
Oh, did you see the trailer for Skyfall, the new... Spectre?
Spectre, I did. I'm quite excited about it.
I'm loving the fact that they've not even played like trying to pretend that he's not Blofeld anymore. Like, let's give him the Blofeld jacket without a collar. Give him the Blofeld jacket without a collar. Oh, what other Bond films can we reference? Well, let's have the music from Her Majesty's Secret Service. What else can we do? Let's have a vehicle doing a barrel roll like in The Man with Golden Gun. What else can we do? Let's have a character like in Live and Let Die. It's like, this is just... what else can we do? Just whatever you want to do, we can just do it. Because it's... there's so much Bond referencing and genius moments in that trailer.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Fucking looking forward to that so much.
Love and Mercy is coming to the Lux.
It is
Brian Wilson.
Hopefully. Got the trailer.
They keep showing the bloody trailers. They're going to put the fucking film on. Girl.
Blame Disney.
And Fantastic Four. I'm quite excited for.
Yeah.
Though I'm now less excited for X-Men Apocalypse because it looks like Ivan Ooze.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about this because this kind of happened in between.
Did we talk about this together, though, about Ivan Ooze?
No, we did it on Twitter. I think it fell in between episodes and then obviously I went on holiday.
Yeah, he does look a lot like Ivan Ooze. Which is...
He looked a bit like, at first glance, the first shot I saw, I thought it was like a Zygon from Doctor Who. Because it's a very smooth...
It doesn't look like Apocalypse. But then neither did the young version of Apocalypse in the...
teaser.
Post-credit scene.
But I could deal with the young one. But no, I like Oscar Isaac, but fuck.
We'll see. I don't know. I watched the Rogue cut of Days of Future Past this week.
Right.
Far superior film. I don't know why I didn't go with that in the first place. Not one for fans of Iceman, but it's a far better film. Yeah. I have mixed feelings about Days of Future Past because I think it's a really good film, but it's a terrible telling of that story.
I like it. I like the film more. I like the film more. I like the book.
See, I've
got the pocket book. I'm not a big fan of the pocket book.
I like the book more. But that's subjective, isn't it? It's personal tastes. Anyway, lots of Fallout from the Fallout stuff. What? What's this?
Skipping stuff. You tell me off for skipping
do you know
stuff
what?
on the order.
If I miss something on the running order, we can always go back to it.
Well, we can't do it when I do that. You get all huffy and fucking... Yeah, you do that. That's it.
Right, okay. That's not huffy. That just means getting depressed with myself.
Giving a heart attack.
My girlfriend noticed something. She pointed something out this week that sometimes I'll go, yeah, so... And then I'll go into it. So normally it's after I've laughed. So she'll say something, I'll laugh, and then go, yeah, so. And she says that's annoying when all you want to do is talk about what you want to talk about, and I'll interject, and then you very quickly steer it back to what you're talking about. And I explain that when I do that, it's not me trying to overpower a conversation, it's me being embarrassed for laughing out loud, because I don't like laughing that much. Yeah. So, yeah. That's that. Right, okay.
You just laughed on the internet now.
Let's talk about all this Fallout from the Fallout thing. Now, Bethesda announced at the Fallout conference that Dishonored Definitive Edition is coming.
Yep.
That's the first bit of Fallout.
There we go.
So, Definitive Edition of Dishonored, we knew was on the way. We knew it was coming in August.
Yep.
But they've done a rather splendid offer if you've got this digitally. So, basically, it's going to be £30.
Yep.
Which is already quite good, actually.
It's not bad for a new release. Well, new... inverted commas release.
A digital version as well, so, you know, if that had been on disc, it would probably would have been £20. But if you've got a digital copy on PSN or 360, you can have the new one for £15. Now, the other good thing about this is they've given it away as a PlayStation Plus game and as a Games of Gold game.
Right.
So anybody who just downloaded those because they could, now actually gets a discount for a game they've probably not even played.
Yeah.
Which is even better. Because you can then play the best version of the game, potentially, because I haven't played it yet. I'm not going to say it's going to work brilliantly, but it should be, because it's definitive.
Is this also a quick way of getting in before the backwards compatibility comes in on the Xbox? Or I can just put my disc in and go, oh,
yeah, possibly. I mean, you'd still have to buy all the DLC.
Yeah.
So that's about £12 worth of content, and it's upscaled to the new stuff. So from that, it's kind of a bit of a... The same with Rare Replay, actually, which is the next game I will be buying. I'll get this one digitally, though.
Okay.
It's £20 for the digital version of Rare Replay, which is the one with like 30-odd classic Rare and Ultimate games. The reason I'm going digital is not just the fact that my disc drive's shit, but it installs the games individually using the disc as a key.
Right.
So it really makes very little difference. But if it's 30 games, they're the sort of games where I want to just flick them on every now and then.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to keep putting a disc in every time. But somebody pointed out that half the games from the 360 that are on the... Well, actually all the games from 360 on disc are already backwards compatible for preview members.
Yeah.
So I've already got them. But there's one game I haven't got digital, which is Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, which was the one where you could build vehicles and things. I don't know if you ever had a chance to play it.
I didn't play it.
It is
remember it coming out.
the best kids game on the 360. And certainly the best game to play as a dad with your kids.
Yeah.
Because you get to design a vehicle of your choice and then actually take that and use it in the mission. So it's kind of like... if Minecraft is Lego, Nuts and Bolts is Meccano.
Right.
Right? But with a... N64 retro game wrapped around that as well, and it was a perfect game, and it did. I don't know why it never really kind of paid off. I don't know because early on in the
that is a proper play with your kids thing. Oh, Kids just want to play with the Lego. You want them to play with the Meccano.
But this,
Do you want to play this Meccano? I'd rather
this
play the
thing
Lego,
like
Dad.
that-
No! Meccano!
my kids absolutely love it. My youngest will sit and build motorbikes. Motorbikes and helicopters he likes building. My youngest will try and build a tank. My eldest will try and build a tank, and my daughter will just paint everything.
Yeah.
She just likes to do the colouring. For me, I work for the most aerodynamic one with the biggest engines on possible. I dare say, actually, I'm going to try it. Because Banjo-Kazooie is probably the most played game in this house on the 360. Just as a rough guess, I'm going to say that they've probably put the disc in when they were last here.
Right.
We'll find out in a second. Hopefully the TV won't come on. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just let it load in and we'll see. But yeah,
We'd have actually had some live video game sounds if you'd left the volume on there. For the
don't
first
want live.
time, we'd have had proper video game
Oh,
stuff.
hang on then.
No, it's too. No.
We can
It's too late now.
Next, we'll get the signing noise in a second with my little character there and his little white suit. I miss seeing my avatar actually. Xbox One, you don't get that.
Yeah.
So I do miss having that on there. But yeah, this would be embarrassing though if it's something like Debbie Does Dallas or something in the disc drive instead. I should have blindly just done the let's not put the TV on, let's just push play. But HDCP protocol won't allow you to. Unless P is protocol. See, that's weird. When you play a backwards compatible game, you get that pop-up appear on the Xbox One.
Right.
It's quite cool. It actually kind of there you go, nuts and bolts. It completely emulates the 360 experience. But yeah, so this game, which is now going to load in the background, is by far one of the best games Rare ever made. But let's think of Gears of War every time. Gears of War cracked it. There was a time when that logo was all the good stuff. You can actually build that in the game itself. Build that, Rob.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
There we go.
so
Proper sound effects this week.
I know.
That's
Didn't
first and last time on this podcast.
We don't know how they've recorded. They might sound terrible. But yes, Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. I want a zero copy desperately, and because I've only got the physical disc, I have to put that disc in the drive. So I'd rather buy the digital version of Rare Replay to save going to put that disc I already own in my Xbox One.
Because your Xbox One's foobard.
Well, do you know what? Saying that, I got a new game donated to me this week.
Right.
Put it in, and I just half-heartedly like, oh god, loaded first time. I was like, oh. So now every time I put a disc in, what I've got to do is just casually just lean over and go, oh fuck's sake. And it should. That's how I think. That's how.
Just a little flick of the wrist, you just did as well.
Because normally
it's on the wrist.
You know, like they said that joke about your keys are always in the last place you looked. Mm-hmm. Of course they are. Because why would you keep looking? Every time the disc work is normally directly after I've gone, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
So by saying it first, hopefully it works. But yeah, so Dishonored Definitive, you can have a digital version of £15. So for what is, I think, a great game that didn't quite find its feet. And leading up to Dishonored 2, which is looking quite spectacular. I should definitely be jumping on it. I'll just have to find some way of potentially clearing some hard drive space or getting a bigger hard drive for my birthday, I think, because at the moment I'm a bit short of space.
Where'd you get those external drives? Where'd you get those external drives?
That's what I'm going to do. Yeah. Just, you can put a 3 terabyte on there. Yeah. And actually you can have, I think, 3 different hard drives as well, which is quite cool. But I thought I'd just get 1 2 terabyte hard drive for it, and that'll do for now.
That's what I'm leaning towards now. I was going to try and get a 1 terabyte Xbox One. I might just get the 500 and then I'll buy a 3 terabyte.
Yeah, they're not expensive options. It was a good thing of Microsoft to offer it. I mean, people would have found a way to do it anyway. Yeah. But I mean, as we know, when they did their little memory stick for the 360, you then put the logo on it and charged £30 for a 16 gig stick. It was like, rah. Whereas this time they've sort of said, no, you can use one. As long as it's USB 3 compatible, that's all. So, which makes sense because it's a high speed connection. You need, really, if you're downloading games and stuff. So yes, that's on the way. So might be worth checking on your consoles because you might not even realise you had the 360 version, and you might be able to get it for £15. Now, proper Fallout news. Bethesda. Bethesda. That's the link. It's all associated. No more Pit Boys, you say? You had this on?
I did. Basically, what do they call it? Special edition, collector's edition, what do they call it? With the Pit Boy wrist.
Yeah.
Where that you put your smartphone in and you can use the app and all that sort of funky jazz. They've all been pre-ordered and they won't be making any more because the factory can't make any more. apparently. They're all factoried up. So they won't do another run of the Pip-Boy wearable Pip-Boys. So yeah. Simple as that.
I think that's nice.
So they'll be on eBay for ridiculous amounts of money. And some of them are already listed on eBay, even though it's not even out yet.
See, I
like that it's a limited edition,
that's the one thing that always pisses me off. I bought I've probably talked about the show before, but I bought the Bioshock 2 limited edition that came with a vinyl record of the Bioshock 1 soundtrack.
Yep.
And I spent 70 quid getting it, and about 6 months later it was 15 quid on Zavi.
Yeah.
It was like, it had a vinyl record in it. In what quantity were they making it and not being able to sell it? It was the sequel to one of the biggest new franchises ever. If anything was going to get people buying a collector's edition, that would have been it. And clearly they either made so many that it was not actually limited, or people didn't buy it. And my impetus is leaning towards that they just made so many, thinking they can charge more for them. But yeah, I didn't order a Pip-Boy in the end. I really wanted to, but I had strong feelings.
I couldn't justify the price, to be honest.
See, I could justify the price, but I couldn't justify giving it a game.
I'd care less about that. Do you know what? There's always points of principle I used to have. Well, I'm just cutting off my nose to spite my face after.
Yeah, see, well, with me, I don't like it when a product like that is with one company. I like it where, say you're the sort of person who sells stuff on Amazon, you build your Amazon credit, and you buy games based on you trading the games through Amazon, and you use Amazon as a service.
Right.
Then every time a limited edition comes out, and you then have to buy a game, you're shot in the foot.
But isn't that the same principle if I buy an Xbox One and then they get something exclusive on PlayStation 4? You hedge your bets.
But
that's how it is now.
Yeah, I understand.
There's been Amazon exclusive releases of games.
There are, but they're generally not massively different. Even there's Amazon exclusive Batman, which I almost got from a disreputable local retailer. That is available 2 other places. So it's it's exclusive, but only in a marginal way. They've got a slight.
But the other thing you've got in the UK is there aren't many dedicated games retailers.
No.
Tesco, Sainsbury's, they sell them. Right, HMV does general media.
I'll quantify my genuine annoyance for this. I couldn't buy it from Bethesda myself. I don't mind it. High street retail have exclusive store, but to the UK, I could only get it from Game.
But then
in America, you could buy it from retailers. You could buy it from Bethesda.
But then the company I work for, the software we make, we don't sell directly.
No, but Bethesda do. They have stores.
I suppose, they've got the store. They have gear. Fair enough.
They're selling hoodies and T-shirts and everything else. Fair point. And that's the bit that annoys me.
Yeah.
Like, if they've got an avenue to do it, obviously there's money in giving somebody exclusivity. I get that.
Yep.
But at the same time, it pisses me off. Like, Ubisoft, they have 3 or 4 different collector's editions of Assassin's Creed every year. Last year's Unity, they had one that was exclusive to Game, one figure. They had one which was exclusive just as a collector's edition. They had one you could only get from the Uplay store. That's fine. Have that, but at least give people the choice of, if you want that specific figure, you go there. If you just want a collector's edition, you get that anywhere, but you'll have variations. So if Bethesda had said, right, you can't get the Pip-Boy edition with the T-shirt, they'll get the Vault 111 T-shirt they were doing, but on our site you can get a pin badge. Right, so you still got variants.
Yeah.
You got that choice of where you spend your money. I want that choice, and I don't like to encourage it any other way. Now, it won't make any difference. They'll keep doing it. They always will do. It just pisses me off. It happened with Titanfall. They had a big light-up statue you could only get from Game. They had the epic editions, the legendary editions of Halo, all that stuff. Always, you can only get that from Game.
But again, that comes back to the market. I think that comes back to the market here.
Yeah,
there's no competition.
But like you say, I can wait, pick one up on eBay for probably the same amount of money as roughly as what it's going to be to pre-order.
Maybe
depends how popular that goes. Like I say, I look around and I see some stuff really cheap. I picked up in the past a couple of collector's editions without the game in the box, and I bought them for like 10 quid, whereas the collector's edition would have been 79 quid with the game, and I've already got the game, so I'm happy. But no. And then I could buy a Nuke, but it's also game exclusive. So I was very excited about this nuke, and I sent you the picture, but you didn't get the picture, so you couldn't see why I was excited. Can you now see why I was quite excited?
Yes.
Because it's a very nice little collection.
I think when I came back, this is the one piece of news I actively sought out, because you mentioned it. The big thing I like, because when you told me, you described it, because obviously you were texting me at the time, and it was just like, all right, how much is that going to cost? 40 quid, it's actually not that bad. I thought you were going to come back and go, it's £80.
It's the one with the fish I didn't give you.
Yeah.
I was actually looking at, when I went to text you to say whether you're still coming over to do recording, I realised I didn't respond to that. But 40 quid for the nuke alone.
Hang on, 40 quid for the nuke alone is a bit much.
Right.
A
Which
little
I can
bit
then
steep.
slot my copy of Fallout.
But that's the thing,
into.
it comes with Fallout, Fallout 2, Fallout Tactics, Fallout 3 Game of the Year Edition, Fallout New Vegas Ultimate Edition.
Yeah.
So you've got 5 games, a ton of hours of gameplay, a cool collectible in the nuke itself with sound effects.
And it is based on the ammo for the Fat Man launcher.
It's a mini nuke, yeah. So, that's as collector's box sets of classic games go, probably one of the better ones.
Yeah. Because it would sit nicely on a shelf. That's what. When I saw it, I thought, actually, I kind of like it. But again, they announced if you want to buy it in the UK, you have to get it through game. And straight away, I was like, right, see if I can trawl through it, farm it another time. But yeah, it is a rather fancy little thing. But also, we had, while you're on holiday, QuakeCon happened, and they showed off a new, they had a new thing of Fallout, but they haven't revealed the video to anybody outside of it. But they explained that you can still romance your companions, like you could in Fallout 3 and 4. Not the dog, though, and not your robot, which is a bit upsetting, because Fisto, I don't know if you remember Fisto from New Vegas. He was the sex bot you could choose to have sex with if you wanted to.
Yes, I remember. Sorry, I was trying to think.
It was a Robotron, I think.
Yep.
And I absolutely went for that. The sound effects that accompany that were glorious. So, though this one's Mr. Handy, so I don't really know where you'd go in that, because it's got a jet port at the bottom. That's probably going to cause burns.
Sounds like John Cleese.
So, I like the sound of everything they did. I just wish they'd released the video, because everyone was saying it showed a lot more combat. There was a weird combat video that did the rounds a couple of weeks ago as well that showed you getting into the power suit. I don't know if you've seen this video. No, it's like you go to the building in the trailer with the bunting outside. Yep. It's one of the big focal buildings in Boston. You go there, someone throws you a laser musket.
Right.
And then you've basically got some enemies coming in, so you get into, and we said it looks like you can get into the Brotherhood of Steel suit, power suit.
Yeah, that came from the trailer they showed.
Yeah, so there was a bit of that. And so you do that, you do all the combat, and it shows you the VAT system plus the live combat. Then a Deathclaw breaks through the road and comes at you as well. And then there's you with a minigun in power armour facing down a Deathclaw in real time. Yeah. And that looked amazing. I loved the look of that. So, I mean, it's Fallout, it's going to be great. But actually, it seems like it's retained everything that I loved about Fallout 3, but also everything I would like to have seen in a sequel.
Yeah.
Namely, the non-VATS combat needed improving.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. It just needs to be a bit more fluid. When you're in VATS, you can pull off the best shots in the world, and yet, as soon as you're out of it, you're just running around wildly shooting at bloatflies that are just shooting you.
The small stuff, the big...
Whereas this seems like it's
comparable size stuff.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Hitting a large target is easier.
Well, yeah, no, but you know what I mean. The bloatflies were ridiculously small to hit freehand.
Whereas in real life, I tend to find my children a lot easier to hit than adults. So,
well,
not with hands.
You raise your hand to your children, and leave your crotch unprotected.
They don't move, is what I'm saying. I get my Nerf gun out.
Your eldest is a teenager.
My kids, what's brilliant? If I'm going to shoot with a Nerf gun, I'll say I'm going to shoot with a Nerf gun. And what they'll do is they'll just turn their back on me. You're not going to get me in the face. It's no, I'm going to shoot you everywhere else. So, whereas adults will duck and weave.
They'll throw a cushion at you.
Exactly. So
spill your drink
in real life,
while you're mopping up.
Smaller ones are easier to hit. But so this Nuke Edition is quite nice if you're into PC gaming in particular. Most people already have. If you're into a Fallout fan, you'll already have all those games. That's what your point was. Games you already own.
It was just sort of obviously I was just walking through a campsite at the time. And just his text.
Why would I want to nuke things when I'm already in an apocalypse?
Nuke, and it's just I've got no 3G.
That's not what I said.
I'm basically back in the Stone Age anyway. All I've got is GPRS. So I'm getting everything as a text message, it's not even an iMessage, and you're telling me about mini nukes. It's basically an EMP's gone off here. Yeah, and I've got the games on disc anyway for like £10 when that shop used to be in Wisbech Market Square. But that is quite cool. I will admit, it's quite cool.
Yeah.
And part of me, even though it's a PC exclusive, I am quite tempted to get it, even though I've got everything anyway. It's because I quite like the Fallout stuff. And there's going to be a Fallout loot crate.
Yes. Which I haven't talked to my partner about because it's not coming out yet. They've said
November.
Sign up.
Coincides with the game.
But I haven't spoken to my partner about this because I guess this might be what she's going to get me for my birthday.
Right.
But I don't want to spoil the surprise that she might then go, oh, by the way, I paid for this. So I signed up for the notification, and I'm going to give her 12 hours before just going, have you seen this? And then watch her face very carefully, because last year for my birthday...
She can't pay for it yet.
No, say it goes up, because my birthday's the end of August.
But it's not going up till like November.
No, it's being dispatched in time for that, but the pre-order price might go earlier.
The whole thing was that you put your name on the list now, and then once it's on, it's not beyond for several weeks, is it?
Well, we don't know. We don't know this. I don't know, Rob. They're doing a Minecraft one as well.
Yeah.
Same people. I've signed up for the notification. I haven't had notification of that yet, so that's actually quite a good sign. But last year's birthday, that was when I first signed up for Loot Crate.
Right.
And her birthday present to me was going to be a Loot Crate subscription.
Yeah.
And I paid for it in front of her on her laptop. And she sat silently the whole way through thinking, I fucking hate you because I now have no idea what to buy you. So this year I've dropped lots of hints. It's like, if anybody was wondering what I would like for my birthday, there's some Fallout pop finals coming out, and there's these things, and there's Xbox Live credit, and I'd quite like to get that game. So I just thought, hopefully this year at least, if I buy one of the things on the list, she'll be okay. Okay, right, we've retained it enough.
Yeah.
We won the quiz.
Yeah.
We beat the Player 2 cast definitively, I think Dean said.
Yeah.
There was no point quibbling over a couple of points here or there, because we won definitively.
Yeah. This is the MGPX quiz.
Yes, let's talk about...
haven't cottoned on to your gloating yet.
Let's talk about MGPX. Let's talk about it, because I think you went to MGPX... Have you ever been before?
No.
No, you've never been before. No, I took another beardy man with me last year. Hock went the first year, I think it was. Then Paul from Shoe Shop went last year, and I took you this year.
Well, you crammed me into the back of Kev's car.
Well, I didn't realise that Kev's car was going to be full of Kev.
Yeah.
Because the problem with that car wasn't anybody else. It was Kev's very fucking shambly way of driving a car, almost laid down flat.
Well, not just that, it's the fact that you had me, Steve and Anna in the back.
Yeah. We should have put Steve in the boot.
The boot was full of goodies and raffle prizes.
On the roof.
Yeah. There
Used him as a spare wheel.
His hair was slicked back already, it'd have been fine. Yeah, the cars aren't really built to have 3 adults in the back.
No. Well, it was an offer of a lift, and I thought that would be a sensible option.
It was very helpful. We're very grateful to Kev for it. It was just a hilarious situation, I think, because he keeps going about how his back wheel doesn't work.
We did tweet out a selfie as well.
We did.
Where
it took you about 10 minutes to take the picture, even though he had to
Kev sort of looked away from driving the car to get in the photo as well.
Take the picture!
In a car that frankly should not be on the road.
Well, it was a free lift.
No brakes, an exhaust pipe barely hanging on, a flat tyre almost. Just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. But we got there safe after making lots of very funny jokes about the names of shops in Peterborough.
Yep.
Which was never anything funnier, really, for the rest of the day. Like, the live show was definitely not funnier than making jokes about the names of culturally significant buildings and shops. But yeah, we came in the long way.
Yep.
Very long way, because Kev decided to just take the wrong turn at Albuquerque.
Not really.
Well, if it had gone straight through town centre...
You got stuck on Borges Boulevard.
Maybe, but you know. I'd have gone round the back of Westgate. I'd have gone that way around.
I'd gone exactly the way Kev went.
Yeah, see, I'd have gone in near the gap. What used to be the
Why are we
gas
arguing
tower.
about this?
Anyway, I'm just saying there was a quicker way.
You don't drive a car.
It doesn't matter about driving a car.
It fucking does.
It doesn't. I was in the front seat.
Get on with the
I
show.
was more of a driver than you were. In fact, you had Kevin laps. So in fact, you could say you were more involved than I was.
Exactly.
So we arrived, and Dean and I think it was his son and a friend, I'm pretty sure,
Okay.
were setting up a lot of equipment.
Yep.
guys from the Retro Computer Museum in Leicester.
Yep, Leicester. They're the guys from Leicester.
I'm having real trouble. Like I wrote an article, a very long article, which I was going to use as a reference point, but half the article has vanished.
Yeah.
Actually, more than half, because we've only just picked you up in the version that's left.
Yeah, and that's already quite a substantial retelling.
What it looks like is when I took my laptop, I've just remembered I wrote the rest of this at work,
right.
so I wouldn't have had Wi-Fi connected.
Right.
And then basically
Didn't
when I turned
save
it
it.
off, it didn't save anything. So yeah, there's the guys in the Retro Computer Museum had brought along a few bits and pieces. Most excitingly, a virtual reality machine from 1991.
Yeah.
And it's as good as any other equipment we've used in years.
Yeah.
Just
really good. Considering the age of it, I had a little play on it, you had a little go as well.
I had a
Harry
terrifying
Steve.
experience on that virtuality machine. Not so much playing it, but when I came off of it.
Oh, what happened? I missed that.
You,
I think I've gone back to the bar.
no, you hadn't.
Yeah.
No, you hadn't. So I went into the virtuality machine, and basically they were playing Raptor Assault. I think it was called Raptor Attack, Dactyl Attack.
Yeah, Dactyl
Yeah, which I have played, and I was telling the guy that I played this at Games Master Live in 1994-95.
Is this your Phil Collins story?
This was the Phil Collins time, yeah. And so I was telling the guy about it, and I just thought I was quite interested because everybody else really who was playing it for the first time. I wanted to know how much of a nostalgia kick I was going to get. Like when you play a Spectrum, you see that loading screen, or like how much of that would I remember instinctively, or how much of it would it
Basically, is this going to be the Spectrum nostalgia kick, or is this going to be the GoldenEye nostalgia kick? We go, oh.
Yeah. And then luckily, it was the... I'm trying to think. It's Hogs of War.
Mm.
It was early days of 3D,
Yep.
but it was still incredibly playable.
Yeah.
Like, once you got the hang of how the weapon fired,
Yeah.
everything was spot on. Like, it was so well made. The only... I did almost test it to its limits of how much the belt would extend, apparently. There was a couple of extra inches, so I did alright. But when I won, and I was silently celebrating, like, yeah, I have won, because you do. You're so immersed, you've got headphones on, a big headset, there's pictures been out on Twitter, everybody knows what it looks like. So I took the helmet off, and the hall was just empty. Everyone had gone.
Yeah.
You'd all gone outside as a prank.
Yeah.
But for a second, I didn't know how long I'd been in virtual reality world. And for a second, I thought, has something terrible happened?
I slept too long!
Like,
no!
is this like The Walking Dead? Or is this... Was that Army of Darkness?
Yeah.
Brilliant. I like the fact that you did that, and you thrown me right off.
Yeah.
Like Day of the Triffids or The Walking Dead, or 28 Days Later, or something like that. Like,
Or they just run out of beer.
somebody had ran into the brewery tap with a knife, and everybody had gone, and then it's just me going, pew, pew, yeah, pew.
And the guy with the knife, he's got a gun! And he ran out again.
But this is the thing, like, in my head, I imagine that for a second, maybe there's a guy right in front of me, and he could have stabbed me, and I wouldn't have known. Like, imagine that. You're in virtual reality. I could have been abused.
So real. A pterodactyl got me.
You could have, like, literally cemented my feet to the ground, or wheeled me outside, or anything. I could be hit by a bus or a plane.
They had to take that virtual reality machine about 8 bits to get it outside. We could have wheeled you anywhere.
Huge, wasn't it? But yeah, for a second I was genuinely terrified that something awful had happened. Then I just, and it's quite embarrassing, I just went, hello? Then looked to my right and saw a load of people stood outside the window. And yet, what was worse wasn't the fact that everybody got outside, but it was the fact that nobody was looking through the window to see my reaction when I came out of it. Nobody really cared. It was like, let's all go outside. Oh, is he still on it? I've no idea. He's just behind me. I can't be bothered to look. I'd have to turn my head 12 degrees to the left to even be bothered. Nobody at all. So I was hanging all the stuff up myself, like thinking, I don't even really know how all this comes off, but that seems to slot in there, that would do. I couldn't get the ring thing up, so I was trapped inside the ring still until the man came in, and he was, do you enjoy it? I went, yeah. But that was quite a terrifying experience, to the point where I don't think I'd ever want to do it again. I'm frightened of those machines now, thanks to you lot.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, it was. That's
how immersive it was.
It was a little bit too immersive. So we got there, and they were all setting up. A little tabletop arcade machine. We had Oculus Rift there, courtesy of Aaron from Infinite Lootcast, which weirdly wasn't the big draw of the show.
Yeah, I was surprised actually.
Because I thought a lot of people would be on that. The Wii U Mario Kart was very popular.
Yep.
The virtuality was always in use, pretty much. Rob from Blackpool really liked that.
Yeah.
He was a lovely man, weren't he?
He was.
So we sat on a table basically because we were drinking, so we weren't really organising anything.
No.
So we went straight to the bar. And I tried Old Moot cider, which is now the official Lollicourse cider, and apparently, according to Twitter, one of the coolest ciders, which makes me feel a little bit bad about saying it's an official one.
So cooler than Frosty Jacks, or have we not established that yet?
I think cooler than anything alcoholic now. Almost as cool as Grey Goose vodka.
Nothing's as cool as Grey Goose vodka.
Wow.
And a pop collar.
But no, Old Moot cider. I had apple and passion fruit, I think it was, or kiwi and passion fruit. It tasted like alcoholic on bongo, which immediately went, this is brilliant. I got games when I was a 10-year-old, but older, and now I've got drinks when I was a 10-year-old, but alcoholic. This is great. And we sat down on a table, and what was great, and what I loved about it, and it was such a great crowd there. It wasn't the biggest crowd I've ever had, but it was certainly the most interactive.
Yeah.
We had a couple of small board games in a suitcase, didn't I, carrying around me, and we just got some out. And I think we played Zombie Dice.
We
played some Batman Love Letter a bit later on. Played Super Fight. We got that deck out. I think you'd wandered off at that point.
Yeah.
And hockey with the woman from Canada.
Yeah.
But we
that was right at the start. So
it was Stuart and his partner Amy.
Yep.
Then we had Rob from Blackpool. We had Proton.
Yep.
Turned up. There was you. There was me. Person Gav turned up at some point.
Yeah, he was on our quiz team.
He scored us 3 points. And that was it.
Oh.
And it really wasn't much fun having him on our team.
That's fun.
I was right. We did need an extra person to make it fun. Yeah. But Darley couldn't make it, unfortunately. He had work to do. Yeah. So it was just 3 of us. We had 2 bigger boys who were very annoyed they both couldn't join our team. Yeah. And I did think after what we could have done is just chuck Gav off and have them 2 on with us. But we won anyway. Yeah. And it was great. I loved seeing a bigger boy, so it was good for you to meet them. Yeah. I think that's the first time we've properly met them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So that was Pumba and Logan, who has got a rather natty beard going on now. And after we left, I don't know if you saw on Twitter, they went to Pab's hotel room to play pool. Did you hear what happened with the pool cue?
A Pumba broke it.
He deliberately snapped it.
Well, there seems to be some dispute over whether it was just because Pumba's quite a large gentleman.
No, Pumba came on Twitter and went, "No, I did snap on purpose, but I would never have stabbed Steve with it."
Just smacked him repeatedly with it instead.
So so we had lots of fun playing games and laughing and joking, and the Player 2 cast people turned up. And I very, very nobly bought them alcohol. There was not an attempt to lubricate their minds so they wouldn't do very well in the quiz.
We weren't attempting to seduce Ian at all.
It was just the open hand of podcast friendship, knowing that we were going to be put up against each other at some point and it was going to get nasty. Like, we were going to have to destroy them because we told... Actually, to quote myself, we were going to fucking destroy them. And they put out a podcast themselves. I don't know if you heard this. They were playing our podcast on their podcast without us giving permission. Yeah. They actually stole our material and used it for their own games.
Well, I'll let you consult the Holocaust lawyers, or Hawk as he's otherwise known.
Well, we don't need to, because actually they were really lovely people. And so that's Nicky and Ian, and they were great, even though he used to work for Game. And he did say that when I worked there, I said about some of the things that my store was doing.
Yeah, that was a good conversation, because obviously you used to work at one store, Ian was a different one.
It was interesting for me to get a better feel.
2 sides of the Game pentagon.
We both had concerns, but in different areas, which was quite good as well. So it's quite nice because it was more an informed thing rather than a fucking game. Yeah, it was actually well, I didn't like game because this, and you were like, well, I didn't have this problem. So it's so they were really lovely, and like I say, Gav turned up. We had I can't remember the names of all the people, but Pat
Harry Steve came.
Harry Steve, with his lad, he turned up.
He turned out to be the most depraved of everybody playing Cards Against Humanity. Quite a large table of people, and Steve's son is the most depraved one.
It doesn't
kids these days, eh?
If he's got Harry Steve's dad, I think he's a legend. He bought an Xbox from that disreputable retailer when they used to still sell Xbox Ones, and he came and collected it for me here.
Oh, that was Steve. I remember it sitting mysteriously in the corner.
That's it. Yeah, Sunset Over. And he bought that and drove up to get it. He was doing some work in the area at the time, but there couldn't be a more West Country man in the world than him. Like, long hair, beard, pipe. Yeah. Just.
I think I did a Periscope of the VR machine when Steve was on it.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah. It's No, he's been to a few of the events. He's another one. This is the thing, like the people who went, Jenny and her partner, I can't remember his name, Mark maybe, I can't remember.
I met a lot of people, some names stick, some don't.
Yeah, see, every year...
I apologise to anyone whose name I forgot.
No, well, here's the thing, like every year I try and make a genuine effort to speak to everyone who turns up. So I'll tap someone on the shoulder and I'll shake their hand, and then I get a bit worried that they think, who the hell's this? And then I worry that people don't know who I am, and that the reason I'm just being overly friendly. And I'm not being friendly, I feel obliged, but I am being friendly. But I feel like if you've Stuart and Amy had travelled from Swansea, Rob had come from Blackpool, you had Blokey from Scotland, if people are willing to drive for 4 hours or more to come and see a show or do this or whatever, it's like, well, the least I can do is genuinely give you good conversation for as long as possible while you still want it. Stuart's wife Amy, the conversation we had about untidy vaginas, I don't know if you were there for that conversation.
Yeah, I think I was.
That's a conversation that could have gone incredibly badly. I just gauged it on the fly, and it gets very difficult because you kind of get to the point where you don't want anyone feeling excluded, particularly people who've not been to an event before. But at the same time, I have a personality that will sometimes not necessarily come off in the way it's intended. So, with the untidy vagina conversation, it was like, this could go really badly. The words were coming out of my mouth. My head was going, Nathan, come on, these are people you've only just met, like literally half an hour before. And it's like, but everybody seemed to really go with it. But yeah, Jenny's partner, his name on Twitter is Playstoke. I just can't remember his actual name. But they won a load of T-shirts. They won more T-shirts on a raffle than anyone's ever won T-shirts.
Yeah, I know Blackpool Rob won a load of Football Manager stuff, even though he doesn't like football, including the broken mug.
Yeah, the broken. It's.
I got a Football Manager 2012 mini football. It's quite amusing because a friend of mine works for Sega Europe, who, of course, Football Manager, and he's like, "Where the hell did you get that from?" Just like, 2012. Like, you could have asked. I got you a new one. It's like, it's not my raffle.
Well, they asked, and that's what they were sent. So that's
the wrong guy, you see.
Yeah, you see, they asked.
You're meeting Eurogamer. You should be there.
Yeah, that'll be good. It'll be interesting actually because this year's first year that we're properly doing Eurogamer. Like we've been together before, but we just went to play games last time. This year we're going professionally.
He's even invited us to the pub afterwards.
Was he?
I think so. The general hint of come for a drink afterwards. Which I take it as an invite to the pub.
Is it because I'm guessing he's Sega.
Yeah, he's Sega. He's works Sega.
It's like a Sega after party.
I don't know.
If it's a Sega after
it's probably just him.
No, let's dress it up.
He's literally
it's just him. Right?
It probably is. He's just been to Austria to follow Oxford United with his cowbell because he's part Swiss.
What?
He literally took a cowbell to Austria to follow Oxford United, just in the most random ramshackle grounds in Austria.
So, what is the cowbell something to do with Austria or to do with Oxford?
It's partly him being Swiss and taking it to Oxford games. So obviously he had to take it to Austria.
So I'm guessing there's not a huge crowd for Oxford games.
They do okay.
But if there's
it's not like Manchester United, right?
No, what I'm saying is, do you think if he's there with a cowbell, he would be known?
I think he'd be noticeable because it's a yellow shirt and a man with a cowbell.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm thinking. Like that's quite a cool thing. Whereas if you're just in a crowd of a million shaking a cowbell, you'd be completely drowned out.
I think he'd still be noticed if you were rattling a cowbell.
I don't know. I don't know if you would.
He's quite vigorous with it.
Alright, if you're vigorous.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's good. So we're going to the official Sega after party. That's good.
It's official now. We're there.
Or if not, he can come with us.
Yeah.
The official roller coaster after party,
yeah.
which isn't going to be one. We're just going to have a drink and then go home.
Yeah.
I think. We haven't really finalised the plan.
I'll tell you, I was going to get Eurogamer.
Right.
Man who invented Gunnosaurus, the Arsenal mascot.
Gunnosaurus?
Yeah. Guy I went to school with called Pete. He used to work for Jagex Games. He's moved now. I forget who he works for. But when he was a young teen, Arsenal had a competition, design our new mascot. Here's one, Gunnosaurus.
Gunnosaurus.
Yep, that's his claim to fame.
I'm sure if people are into football, that means something.
Yep.
To me, I'm just thinking of like the Robosaurus from Simpsons.
No.
Truckosaurus. I watched...
John Truckosaurus, voiced by Marlon Brando.
I watched Pawn Stars, the Las Vegas pawn shop.
I've been there.
Retailer.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you see the people?
Who's the one who acts really stupid on the telly?
Chumley.
Yeah, we met him. That was the only one.
He's the only one you really want to meet anyway, because it's a funny one.
He's not as stupid in real life.
No,
strange that.
Funny that, isn't it? That they don't play to the stereotypes. But they had an opportunity on the episode I watched today, because I've watched a lot of TV today while doing other bits. But they were given a chance to buy one of the robot truck dinosaur things for $1 million.
Ouch.
On the promise that you could make $25,000 a day, which is not actually bad. I mean, 100 days you made money back, but
there's maintenance as well. Shifting it around the country and all that stuff. So.
Yeah, Truckosaurus is in my head a bit. Yeah. So Gunnosaurus Man's going to be there.
Yeah.
Is he there in a professional capacity? Or
I assume he will be, as he works for a games company.
Yeah.
I just forget which one he moved to. As I say, it was Jagex in Cambridge, but it's a different one now.
So does that mean you don't have your contact at Jagex anymore?
Yes. Though I do have...
See, I've got a contact at Jagex now.
I do have the emails of a couple of the ones in the media team.
I've got...
So theoretically we still have a contact.
I've got
just not someone
Alan Campbell, who's on Twitter as Jagex Alan, I think his name is. I went to college with him, so that's quite handy. And my mum's best friend used to work for Cambridgeshire Social Services, works there as well. Apparently working in the safeguarding element, because obviously online gaming, you have to have, so she went for that role. I don't know if she's still there, but I know she did. Anyway, enough of us name dropping all these tiny
I'm getting back here.
But so back to MGPX, where we were a big pull for people. It was we presented the biggest table of people for the entire show. I think that's fair to say, and that's what our role was. We were there to make sure people were interacting nicely and dragging people over. Come and play a game with us. We kept saying.
Was that our official role? Was it?
Well, I like to think of it like that. Because
I was
asked to guest on the show.
Yep.
That was we were going anyway.
Yep.
Because
we said we'd go. Yep. We want to support the event.
But then I felt a bit guilty because I kind of not had much time to plan for the live show.
Really? I never could have told.
Which was nothing to do with the fact I'd been drinking. I was a shambles. However, I dare say it was still a very entertaining and funny little piece of material. I've watched the video back.
It was live. Did listen to this week's MGP podcast. The sound doesn't come across well on the podcast.
But actually listening to myself in a semi-drunken state, and actually, do you know what? The whole thing that threw me the most wasn't the alcohol, it wasn't the fact I hadn't prepared, it was when we started, there was that little round of applause.
Right.
That it just felt really nice. Like that was, we've never had that before.
Right.
It's a weird thing. Like normally we just do a show and by the end of it everybody's gone. We didn't get on at the end, we got on at the beginning, so that was fine. And it just kind of made me feel like the best things I ever did with MGPX, or MGP rather, were all in that hall at that time. We were doing podcasts with people that I quite like, being listened to by people who I quite like, and then drinking. And so it was all there. Yeah. And it was, like I say, it was a shame that some people couldn't make it. Hopefully next year they will be able to. But on the whole, the entire event was a delight. It was lovely. And the only kind of downside really was it was a religious festival, Eden Rubric.
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce it? So that shut a lot of takeaways, including Megabyte, which is...
We only tried two, and it shut one, so we tried a second one that was open.
That was quite a way away, though. We walked past a lot of closed ones. Yeah, do you not really remember?
That's not that far away.
It was quite a long way away when your trousers are falling down and you're dragging a suitcase with you.
I thought you brought your suitcase on the bus and you didn't have a belt on.
Carrying some Lego men under your arm. I won Lego men.
Yeah.
You won a canvas print. Gav took the 3DS.
Oh, I thought it'd be chivalrous and let Postman Gav go second.
Yeah. And I was chivalrous and let Postman Gav have the option for the 3DS.
There we go, see?
Which I have had 7 individual messages from people saying that was an incredibly nice and generous thing to do.
Yeah.
And not from the people who organised it at all.
Nobody said that to me.
No. But
I'm sad now. Fuck you all.
Well, no, because you didn't... Well, I suppose they didn't really know necessarily that you...
No, it's fine.
Go first.
No, it's fine. I'm not joking. That doesn't bother me.
But I just thought, like, at the time, I thought, I've got my 3DS with me right now. But how much of a dick do you have to be to go...
Just to get the street pass. Just open up going, yes, one more! I'll put it back on the shelf now.
How much of a dick do you need to be to go, well, I don't actually want that or need it, but fucking it's the best thing here. I made the show! Ah! And instead, it was like, no, I really like those little legs, because it's basically 2 Iron Men, War Machine Iron Patriot, wasn't it? In a frame mounted, in a box frame. It's a really nice little thing. And I did think, you know what? Out of all these things here, that's the one I'd rather like on my wall. And I thought, that's fine. Somebody else can have the 3DS. And I didn't know whether who was behind me at the time. But I thought either of you two, that'd be great. What we should have done is we should have had a strategy talk really first. So we're like, if we win, what do we do? So that if anybody wanted something very specific, let's say you really wanted the Iron Man thing, then I wouldn't pick the Iron Man thing. Or if Gav had said, well, my boys broke his DS, which apparently I found out later was the case. But
because Gav went home and smashed it.
But he kept,
got your new one!
But he kept it for himself, apparently. So people were saying, that's why a lot of people said it was nice, because his son's wasn't working properly or something. But everything Gav has said on Twitter is, no, I've kept that. So it was like, oh well, one of us was nice about it. But then I said what we should have done really was like got the DS, sold it for cash, and then split the money. Instead, they just like drug
the
addicts
cynical
in the
bastards
street.
who buy limited edition ones and put them on eBay.
No, I was happy. I was very happy how it went, and actually very generous. I think that was all Dean that provided all those prizes as well. And without Dean and Simon for organising as well, that event would not have been anywhere near what it was. The level of interaction that he made sure it happened was great. And Dean's lovely. He's coming to my birthday thing in August as well, and so I like seeing him. He came last year, but I don't think you made it last year, did you?
I couldn't make it last year, unfortunately not.
Hopefully this year though, because I've tried to not organise it on Bank Holiday Monday. Since Bank Holiday weekends are normally my birthday, so I've moved it to Thursday before.
You've moved your birthday to a Thursday?
Well, the birthday meal. And it's in town as well, so we haven't got to go to Peterborough. So if anybody's listening and you want to come to my birthday, well, not my birthday, but I'm having some drinks at work because we go to Lux first to meet. And then from there, we're going to go to potentially Wurzel's, I think, for food because it's reasonably priced and quite nice.
Yeah.
And they take a while to bring your food out, which means we can talk. Yeah. Because that's what I don't get about restaurants. People go to restaurants, there's like 2 or 3 of them. Yeah. Or even larger groups, and then they complain that the food took ages to arrive. Right. I'd say it takes 45 minutes to arrive. Yeah. That's how long it takes to prepare meals fresh. Right. If you're doing a lot of them. How much do you have to hate the rest of your table to be sitting there going, oh, for fuck's sake, I just want to eat and go?
You find out on your birthday.
I've never had that. Never had that where I've genuinely not enjoyed the conversation. I've always been surprised. Although I went to Jimmy's last year, so you don't have to wait for food then. But I'm always happy to wait for food. I'd quite like it if I could order food for an hour later and then just talk for an hour and then just have the food and know when the food's going to arrive.
I think maybe it's partly because you're in some sort of formal setting. If you're in a restaurant, it's not quite as relaxed as being at home.
No.
It's not as relaxed as being at the pub.
I don't know.
You just kind of sat around on the table.
I just like it. So we're all meeting at the Lux Cinema on Thursday the 27th of August. That will be from 6 o'clock to the cinema, and then from 7 o'clock we'll be heading to the meal, which should be booked for 7:30. I think Thursday nights is like a cheap night as well, where you can get a meal and a drink for like a tenner or some 12 quid or something like that. So if people are a bit worried about budget, there are lots of options. So if you just want to come for the drinks, you can do that. If you just want to come for the meal, you can do that. If you want to do both, you can do that. If you can't do either, that's fine. I just try to keep it as flexible as possible this year. So hopefully, obviously we've got Dean coming along. Hopefully, Postman Gav will be able to make it. He said he might be able to swap, get his wife to shift swap.
So she's going to deliver the mail, and he's going to go and work it.
She works for Sainsbury's, so I guess that wouldn't be too difficult to do.
Don't turn up one day.
Well, the other reason I did it on Thursdays because that's when we had the game nights.
Right.
And so Thursday you was often able to get away, but I guess it's because it's a bit earlier than we used to do the game nights. Excuse me. But yeah, so it is open to anyone listening. If you want to turn up. I mean, you don't even have to get me a present or a card. That's not why I'm inviting you. I'm inviting you because why not? But I do need to know numbers, so do let me know. Don't just turn up.
Send him a card to say you're coming.
No, just send
us
happy
birthday in the card.
No, not at all. Send us a tweet, which will give you details later. Right, just finish off MGPX. So, a real nice event.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Very well organised.
Yeah.
Reasonably well attended.
Yeah.
Awesome people.
Yeah.
Bus ride home couldn't have been weirder if it tried, could it?
It was the night bus. What did you expect to happen?
4 people on the night bus, 2 of which were us.
Yep.
Actually,
5 because there was a driver.
Okay, well, yeah, that's true.
I think there was some weird upstairs.
I sent a tweet out on the night where I was sat and I was complaining to you about there was no drunks or weird people in the bus station. It was only the next day that I realised that we were the drunk weird people.
Yeah.
Like, I hadn't even considered that at the time, that's the first sign of having a problem, isn't it? Not realising it's a thing.
I did see the irony in it. I thought I would mention it.
So we got there quite early for night because we didn't want to miss it. It was the last bus. We missed the last one and then had to wait an extra hour and a half, so we didn't want to then be there overnight. So we went to the back seats on an air-conditioned bus that had free Wi-Fi. It took me half an hour to connect to. Yeah. It was shit. I think the Wi-Fi must be at the front of the bus. I think that's what the problem was.
The driver's phone. You tell it to the driver's iPhone.
And the windows were open on the bus, so it was freezing cold.
It was pretty cold.
And the air conditioner was also on as well.
Yeah.
And then there were two other people who decided to come and sit quite close to us after noticing our T-shirts in the bus station.
Yeah.
And thinking that Weird Holocaust was quite a funny name.
Yeah. For anything.
Yeah. And I did quantify that was nuclear.
Yeah.
Not Jewish. We seemed to go on right. You sort of knew one of them.
I played cricket with him.
He didn't recognise you.
No, it's the beard.
And I told a short story about how I once went to a taxi rank office to buy a pork pie.
Yeah.
It tickled him.
Yeah.
And he gave us some advice, just that if we're ever bullied, to point out we once kept an old fat man awake on a bus, which is not in any way a way of going through. And then we discovered that night time is no time to buy Coke from a vending machine because couldn't get any proper drinks out there, could we?
True.
So I had to have a cherry Coke to take back with me, and then you walked me home, making sure I got home safe.
Yeah.
But it was on the way to yours. It wasn't that shit for us, but you could have split up at some point.
I did.
Yeah.
At your partner's house.
So, I that was a very splendid day. It was packed with stuff and genuinely enjoyed meeting people. So, that was all good. We gave out some pieces of paper with the podcast address on in place of business cards.
Yeah.
I've ordered some business cards for Eurogamer.
I would have stuck with bits of paper.
I've ordered some business cards.
How much more is a torn bit of paper going to stand out? Because these professional business cards, business card.
Well,
what's this? Torn bit of paper with some childish scrawl in crayon.
Well, I just thought if we can leave some on tables and things around the show, and maybe someone will pick one up. So I've ordered 5.
I'm going to put it in all the air vents on the consoles. Just sit up. Who broke this?
Jam it in all the memory card slots and stuff. Yeah, or when people put a VR headset on. There's just our business card in the centre. Wow, this is an experience.
I'm actively going to search out one of those Pip-Boy bracelets and just put the cards in it. Going, it's all ready to go.
Oh, dear. So we're going to have those, and I might have some pin badges ready as well.
Ooh.
That's the other plan. But we will see. But they're only going to be for people who say hello. I'm not just going to give them out willy-nilly, because I need to keep hold of them for people who actually know who we are.
Yeah.
So like, do you know who we are? With our T-shirts saying we are the Holocaust. If people don't go, are you we are the Holocaust, they don't get a badge. So what you see, as Roy Walker used to say.
Yeah.
Or don't tell the police, as Jimmy Savile used to say.
Oof.
I loved MGPX, and I can't wait for the next one. We should do a live Holocaust again, but not like last time. Do it as a...
one with me on it.
Well, it was, Dalek was drunk, Hock was in space, and you weren't existing really. You were being crushed in a toilet.
Yeah.
So,
I was small bit parts and mostly written stuff for the blog at that time.
Literally bits that were small. Somebody has said about it, we are looking, people at home, at hiring my workplace for an event. We might show a film and do a show on stage there. I don't know. We'll see. But I can feasibly put something on. Daytime or something. I thought what might be good actually is when it's MGPX time, we could do a thing where we hire a minibus from Wisbech to Peterborough.
Right.
We do something at the cinema in the morning, like breakfast and a movie, and then go across to the live show, to the other show, and partner up or something. People had travelled for that.
Yeah.
Make use of it. But we will see. Or if people are around for the weekend, perhaps organise something for Sunday. I don't know. It is what it is. Right, that's enough of a show. We've been chittering, chattering, and wittering on for a little while. Hopefully, we'll be back to weekly. But we've made a promise to ourselves that from now on, if we can't do a show, we won't just do a show. We won't rush one out. If it's not weekly, it's not weekly. So what? Which might be weekly.
Yeah.
But if it's fortnightly, it's fortnightly.
Yeah. It's basically, if I'm not here, you can't cope.
I had a bit of a breakdown. I recorded it. The audio wasn't great, and then I listened to it back, and I just thought, I wouldn't listen to that. There was no balance. So, you ruined me for other podcast people.
There we go.
Well, not for lone podcasting. I'll never be able to do it again.
Yeah.
I was tempted I've been approached to do a movie podcast for the cinema that we release every month to talk about the films that are coming up, which
Yes, I'll do that with you.
Well, that's the thing. I'm now going to have to put a team together to do that. So I thought I might also see if the Monday Movie Show are interested in getting involved in that as well, because that'd be quite good to do a four-way conversation on film. Right. Yeah. So we're that's a show. We've had a couple of good reviews.
That was the show that was. We have excellent reviews, and we really appreciate them.
Thank you very much. And there are elements of criticism.
But that's what we want. We've said this before.
Yeah.
If there's something you don't like, be honest.
Yeah. And so that's
because feedback is important,
and we love it.
That's how things grow.
And I like the fact they mentioned the man from Video Shop because that's I've not had that for a while.
No.
One of my funniest things that ever happened to me, I don't know if I talked to it on this show, was when I did Man from Video Shop. I don't know if you ever used to listen to those. So I had that live, just I'm a man. I was walking to work one day, and a guy on the other side of the road went, "He's a man walking down the road. He's walking down the road, man." And I thought, he obviously listens to the show.
Or he's mental.
Well, the odds are very, very slim.
It's Wisbeach.
And I just thought, of all the heckles or all the calls that you could get doing podcasting, quoting something that's like the feed line for a sketch or a little bit of routine in your own hometown is a bit weird. I've had people like shout Bouncy, and I've had people come to the shop and do stuff, and I've had somebody turn at the cinema.
Yeah, I've seen the mess they left.
I've had someone come to the cinema already saying that they've listened to Mature Gamer, and they're sort of following on Twitter, and they'd come to say hello as they were passing. But that was always the weirdest one, because it was just like, alright, it's a bit odd. So yeah, walking down the street, man, was quite a funny one. But if you'd waited 5 minutes, I would have been a man in the video shop. Yeah. Not anymore. Shitty place.
DVDs now.
That's true. That's all they do. That and cushions. So keep reviewing us, because we like that. It helps keep us floating in the iTunes charts nicely. Yeah. Talking to Proton at MGPX, he was saying that Night Shift still does reasonably well, because it's still featured in a couple of areas. So it does make a difference. If you think at home, you think, one review won't make a difference, it will. Absolutely will. And always think of it like this. If we've changed something, so like we've changed the format, re-review. If you've reviewed us before, adapt your review for the new changes, if you like them or if you don't like them. Because, again, we don't know. We use you as a guide because you're who we're making it for. So rate us, review us, and subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher. Get a friend to listen. Write the podcast address down on a piece of paper and leave it at a gaming event. If you're at Gamescom, write our Twitter handle and podcast name on a piece of paper and put it in the gents and ladies if you're a lady. Don't go in there if you're a gent. Although it is Germany, they're probably alright with that. They're quite an easygoing people. Not as much as the Dutch. But frankly, they're just fucking sex dungeons.
Share a boulder with Belgium.
Yeah. Drop on the website, lollicross.co.uk, and I would say read our scrawlings. I've only written one thing this week, which is an apology. Because 5 years ago, a video came out showing real-life video games attacking New York, and I loved it. And I remembered, after this week, I remembered how much I loved that video. And how much I wanted that to be a feature film. And I'd do anything to see it as a feature film. Yeah. And I sent it to different people. I was like, this would be a brilliant film. And now it's a film of Adam Sandler. Yeah. It's genuinely a result of that short film.
Yep.
And I can't help but take some responsibility for that. Yeah. So, sorry. It's my fault. I'd like to think I'm responsible for the cool bits in it, if there are any. I don't think it's going to be that bad, actually. I know it's getting some terrible reviews based on misogyny and gamer stereotypes, but the problem is the people who are reviewing it are the ones who are going to be hypersensitive to stereotypes of nerds.
It's more the fact that it just seems to be described as an Adam Sandler film, but with a few references like Pac-Man.
But again,
and given how terrible Adam Sandler films are these days, I can understand why it's getting terrible reviews.
See, here's the thing, right? A terrible film rather, can still be enjoyable. Although my favourite quote when referring to Pixels was, if Wreck-It Ralph was a love letter to the video game industry, Pixels is wiping the cock on the curtains.
Yeah.
Which, do you know what? There's room for that. Like, The Last Starfighter was nowhere near as good as Tron, but it was certainly better than that one with the power glove. The was it the Kid? I can't remember what they called it.
Last Airbender.
WizKid? I'm sure it was WizKid. It was a Nintendo one. They had a power glove in Nightmare on Elm Street 6 as well. Now I'm playing with real power. So I'm quite looking forward to seeing Pixels. I'll be honest, I don't expect to be wowed by it, but I don't know. I quite like the idea of real world things being tapped by video games. Paperboy's in it, for crying out loud. Paperboy. Imagine that. And he's a bad guy in it.
Yeah.
He always was. He was throwing newspapers through windows and things.
This is one of those occasions where a poster has made it look awesome, and then the trailer has made everybody go, oh no.
Here's the other thing, right?
Because quite often it's the other way around, the posters would be like, and then the trailer comes and you're like, ooh.
Here's the thing, and this is something that I think Pixels has failed on massively. The sort of people who see this film are not old enough to know what half those references are. And the people who are old enough to know what those references are far too cynical to just let go of it and enjoy the film as it is.
But they also remember when Adam Sandler was kind of amusing and things like that.
But that's what I'm saying. They're of an age where they're only going to be critical of this. Whereas the people who would probably be all over it and have no way going to... I mean, like, I'll show you the game posters, right? Because I have to promote this as part of work because Sony are an amazing company and we work with them and they're amazing. I love you, Sony, and I think Pixel's going to do really well at the box office. But
it's almost like you believe the lie.
Do you know what? It's almost like I work well. That's what it is. Actually, it's bizarre. It is bizarre. Right? So obviously we've got Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, the posters were awesome.
Go on. What game?
Donkey Kong.
Yeah. What game?
Space Invaders?
No. See, they're straight away. Here's the problem. That's Gallagher. Right? And then Space Invaders.
Space Invaders.
Right, if I showed you the other way around, you'd have known that wasn't. But Gallagher is an odd one. Right? You've got that. You've got Super Breakout.
So I don't really remember Gallagher at all.
No, but this is the point. Like, those are in there as reference points, but they're reference points to people of a very specific age, most of whom are not going to appreciate it when you've got the fat nerdy loser who lives in his mum's basement and is a virgin, the guy whose entire life was a failure, who's really good at games, but now he's just living a life based on that, the guy who's got a mullet and a denim jacket. It's like all the forced stereotypes of what... If you said to somebody, describe a gamer... they would probably draw out the cast of Pixels. And that's, for a lot of people, that's the most offensive part of it. Take the misogyny out, take the fact this is a badly made film or badly plotted film. That's why that wouldn't go through. If they'd have done references to 90s games, so you had Sonic the Hedgehog, you had Zelda and Link and all that in there, it would probably find a better crowd. And that's why Wreck-It Ralph worked, because it referenced 80s stuff, but it also had Call of Duty references and Halo references. So it's like, gaming isn't just 1980s old men playing games in an arcade. Whereas Wreck-It Ralph was like, well, actually, gaming is arcades, it's consoles, it's all this whole rich world of greatness. But at the same time, I'm going to go into it with an open mind. And I'm not paying for the ticket, so I suppose that's part of it.
Well, yeah.
But maybe I will pay for the ticket, so I can review it as a paying customer. Because I do like reviewing things for paying customers, as anyone will know from Facebook at the moment. But yeah, we will see. Right, so that advert's on there. Apologies on there. I will try and rework the MGPX article if I can be bothered. But if not, this podcast acts as a verbal version of it. Yeah. I might put it through one of those translation, where you play it some audio and it transcribes it for you automatically.
Right.
Might just do that.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll make no mistakes.
Sure, that'll come out well, yeah.
Especially when it gets to Lelujo and RB6K.
Yeah.
That'll be fine. Get in touch with us though, because we do like that.
Yep.
Email us using the big envelope on the website. Or if you don't want to go to the website because it's blocked at work, you can email us at wearethelolocaust@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at wearewithatletterr_the_Holocaust. You can find me at bounceball_H_2B.
And you can find me at RobMcGregor35.
And you can find Dalek at The Voice of Sex. We always talk about value with this show as well. If you want to make a value donation. The last one, we had a donation which helped us... Well, I think I bought a round of drinks to start off with, and then we used some towards bus fare as well later on in the evening. So that donation meant that we got to MGPX and we had a drink, which then made us funny.
Well,
I have a message that did say that we were... The reason they enjoyed the event.
Oh, that's nice.
It was very nice. It made me feel a bit guilty because there were lots of reasons why that event was good. We were just the biggest part of it. Yeah. But again, I think that's the thing. If you're a community event and you're involved, like Rob from Blackpool, he took me to one side and thanked me for making him feel welcome. I just thought, just talk to you, mate, and you had to sit on the knee, and it was just very nice. It was a very nice man.
It was. It was very nice.
There was nobody there I didn't like. For the first time in ages. I mean, Kev was borderline. But you do get that. Like, it's a small little community that just was really nice. So so go and listen to their live show. I've got the video file in HD, but it's huge. It's like 10 gig in size. So I probably won't be putting that on our YouTube channel, but I'll probably get the link from theirs. So if anybody does want to watch it, you can do. The audio's a bit all over there. But that's what happens when you record a live show that's been
with 4
fed
drums
into a camera and in speakers. It will always happen. You can't isolate the audio that easily. And that's it. That's episode 27 done. About next week's episode 28, we'll probably talk about Angry Birds 2. Because, we've got Angry Birds 2 now. I've played it. I've got it on here. Just to prove it. That's Gallagher again, isn't it? Yeah. There you go, Angry Birds 2.
Well done.
Oh, I've got 7 notifications from work as well. We'll be talking about that, and we'll probably discuss this weird conversation that a lot of people have been having about why it's been monetised and it's unfair. But, I'm planning an article based on this. There's 15 Angry Birds games now.
That's a lot.
And this one's Angry Birds 2. So I'm going to explain why that's a good thing. And it's the exact right thing for them to do. We'll also be talking a bit about the Simpsons Heights, Springfield Heights expansion as well, which we didn't put into this one, but we'll talk about next week. And that'll be it. Got any last words, Rob?
Goodbye.
Before I kill you and put you under the floorboards.
All right, calm down.
No, I'm not going to kill you. I need you for podcasting.
Oh, yeah. Last week was an abject failure without me.
It really was.
I'm feeling the pressure now. Weight of expectation.
No, it's fine. It's just, don't go on holiday ever again. Or if you do, take me with you.